Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to your monthly episode of The Gimmick. I am the Canadian Nightmare, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by, I think we know who he thinks going to win.
Mr. Yeet in the bank.
Yes. How's it going, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm just waiting on a full weekend of wrestling, so I really looking forward to Forbidden Door tonight and
Yes.
talking about everything going on in the future with Money in the Bank.
The
Let's do
10-hour
it.
pay-per-view, Forbidden
Yeah,
Door.
14
But
match card.
damn it, Tony, some of us have a life, and he's
Yeah.
on the East Coast, so it's gonna be super late for him.
Oh yeah, I know. For us, it's a holiday weekend, so I'm gonna watch at least the back half for sure, and then I think I'm gonna have to watch the other half later on. Especially, do you always watch all the 0 year stuff or 0 hour? I pick and choose depending on.
Depends on what has been announced for 0 hour. Like
Yeah.
for this one, so far, I mean, okay match, but there's nothing that screams I need
I
to
think
see
it's
this.
better than some previous ones. Like some
Yeah.
other 0 hours have been like not that interesting. This one definitely has at least like some good people in it and doing some fun matches at least.
And there's actually like the Owen Hart Cup in their stuff, and
Yeah,
isn't it Mariah versus Mariah? So like people
yeah.
can stop complaining. Mariah's gonna get her win back. My God, when everybody lost their fit and everything. But as you just heard, we're also joined by the man below. You can introduce yourself.
It's Bubs here, Mr. NXT
So with that name, are they making? Because I see you sharing the reports. Are you? Have you turned into TNA at all, or is it still just a one-way
I
relationship with you right now?
I have watched it. I did watch the Against All Odds, like the show.
Right.
I did think that was like it was semi entertaining. There was some like the Matt Hardy one. Like I don't know if it was a good match, but I was entertained by it the whole time just because it was like dumb. Like there's a spot where they started hitting each other with football helmets, and the crowd started
Oh yeah.
chanting CTE.
Right. I saw that. Yeah.
And but I thought it was a fun time, and the Mustafa Ali match was pretty good, even though they kicked out of like everything. Like it was like belt shot, kick out, three
Oh
low
yeah.
blows in a row, kick out. Like Mustafa Ali's like security guards like beat up the other guy, and then he kicks out.
That's
I forgot what he eventually like won with, but they were like, yeah, just like hit three burning hammers in a row and kick out. And people keep posting that Dolph Ziggler clip now that he was in a match a few days ago, and it was just like the Jay and Jimmy WrestleMania match. Like they were just like super kicking each other
oh
back and forth.
no. Yeah. No, I haven't checked out. Last time I watched TNA at all was when they put the of course, gonna sound biased, but when they put the strap on Kenny there for a while, I like watched it a little bit. But sometimes people are like, "Oh yeah, it's the best wrestling going on," but I also see some stuff that looks still a little like old TNA. But it's talking about finishes. At some point, you'll get there. Whenever you get to the like Champa Gargano Black and Gold series, let us know. That's like the ultimate of these guys are like Freddy and Jason. Like you could hit
No,
them
yeah,
with a vehicle and they'll kick
I
out.
was watching. I kept laughing because I forgot I was watching some random NXT takeovers, and like at the end of the match they would like promote the upcoming card, and like every single one, the main event was Ciampa and Gargano in some different stipulation. It was
Yes.
like 2 out of 3 falls, street
Yeah.
fight, no DQ,
I
like
didn't
every single one.
I didn't
Yeah.
mind it. I agree with people with Triple H that it was his Sean and Triple H. Like he just loved spamming that one. I liked it because like they always found a good way to get a story. But then there's tons of people that say like, "Oh, that killed the Black and Gold era." Like that was, but it's just like I don't think so because after that you still had Adam Cole and everything. Like you had lots of good stuff going on.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind those. But I get why people got a little. I think it's when they did their last COVID match. I was like, there was a point where it's like, okay, we've now. I will agree with that. At one point, it did jump the shark. It's okay. We've been here for too long now. Let's move along. You know.
Yeah.
But we are here to talk about. We got a couple things to talk about. Like we said, we're going to talk about Forbidden Door at the end and some AW stuff. We're not going to do a big deep dive in Forbidden Door because this episode will be releasing just a few hours before the event, so a lot of stuff will be out of date. Because I know people will probably listen to it the Monday or after because it's the holiday weekend here at in Canada and US. So happy everybody Canada Day and Independence Day if you're doing all that. So we're going to do that. There's multiple topics we're going to touch upon, like Dom and Liv, the White Six, the Bloodline. We're all going to do that in the rundown of the Money in the Bank, so we'll hit on it there. And then we're going to do the draft update. Now, the draft update, if you listen last whatever, a couple weeks ago. We're gonna drop potentially
I think it was
3.
the first step. Oh yeah, the draft was on the first episode.
Yeah, draft was first episode.
Yep.
Yeah, and we're gonna drop potentially 3. You don't have to, but we can drop 2 regular spots and a jobber spot. So that's what we're gonna do here. And we didn't know how we were gonna do it, so we're gonna do a wheel spin to decide if we're gonna do a wheel spin. We're gonna decide if we're gonna go draft order or if we're gonna go a wheel spin for that order. So let's do this. I bring this up every time.
Just a 50-50.
It's the 50-50, the Pokemon ball. Click to spin it. And it will be going in at order, so it's not just one person goes, oh, there you
Yeah.
go, draft order. S-Bubs is number 1. He was like, we got to do a draft order, but there you go.
I was saying, I still have a chance. I could have, if we did wheel spin, I would have gone number 1 again. I would have been happy there.
Oh, yeah. So there we go. We're going to go draft order. So it's going to be S-Bubs, Dave, and myself. It's going to be like the draft where it's 1 by 1. We'll do the drops first, unless you have some trade/draft you want to do at the same time.
Trade offer. I can do this.
I guess trade. It's like trade up your draft spot. But S-Bubs, do you have somebody? I'll ask you this. I don't think it's spoiler way. Are you dropping all 3 options? Or are you keeping any?
I think there's 2 I probably drop, and then the third one might depend on if someone else drops someone, and I'm like, I really want that person,
right?
Or if I just think of someone else as because the third one's like someone who has gotten me like okay points, and like if I like, there's a chance if I drop them and I pick someone else, and then that person is like worse. So it's like maybe I should just keep the person I already have.
Yeah. And just to explain for everybody, in case you haven't listened to your first episode draft, we're doing it like a fantasy draft where we've all selected 11 people, 10 being regular superstars, so it's based off like wins and main events and championships, and then our 11th pick is a jobber where if the person lose or if they win, we don't get points. We want them to lose. We want them to job and just not have a good run. So that's where it is right now. I will read out the teams in case people get a refresher here. So S-Bubs has Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Chelsea Green, Bailey, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Charlotte Flair, Dominic Mysterio, Montez Ford, and Johnny Gargano. I have Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Braun Breaker, Jey Uso, Jade Cargill, Austin Theory, AJ Styles, and The Miz. And then David has Gunther, Finn Balor, Bianca Belair, Becky, Damian Priest, Kevin Owens, Santos Escobar, LA Knight, R-Truth, and Kofi Kingston. So that's how they currently stand. So before you go, S-Bubs, David, are you going to be dropping all of them? Is it dependent, like S-Bubs, on a certain situation? Or are you keeping some? What are you doing?
There's guaranteed 2 drops.
Guaranteed
2 drops with a possible third. Okay. I'm leaning heavily towards dropping all 3, but 2 of them definitely bye-bye. Nice to know you.
Yeah, I'm definitely dropping 2, and then my jobber I'm 50-50 on because he's done nothing for me, but of course he got booked for a match next week on SmackDown that he will lose. So just like, is he finally back in the fold now? Because I feel like Pretty Deadly, like they just like, I guess I should say that Pretty Deadly was my jobber, or it was like one of them.
They're not, Elton Prince.
Yeah, they're not going to wrestle singles. They're not going to wrestle singles. S-Bubs, you had Nakamura, right?
No, I have Tozawa.
You have Tozawa, and then did you have
he was
Nakamura,
the number one jobber draft pick.
He was, yeah, and he hasn't been wrestling much either lately. It's weird.
He's lost like a few. I think out of all of them.
And then David, who's Tozawa?
Nakamura,
yeah.
Tozawa and Nakamura are tied in only two losses.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to show my hands here. At one point, I was gonna pick JD. I was like, oh, that's what I'm gonna drop, and then they win the fucking tag titles this Monday. So I'm like, well, I can't pick him. Like I know he'll lose, but for like, I feel like we missed out on that from WrestleMania to on. He's been losing so many matches. Like I feel like one of us that would have been a good pick, but now he's a tag team champ.
Yeah,
so
I mean, Tozawa was losing like every week on Raw for like 3 months, and then after WrestleMania, he like hasn't wrestled at all.
He's just
scared. That was my thing. My jobber was R-Truth, and R-Truth spent the entire time on a championship run. I'm like,
he's one of your main picks. R-Truth. Nakamura was your jobber.
Yeah,
Uh,
Nakamura's jobber, who also just
I'm about to
went
say, do I
away.
have Nakamura? Sweet.
You do as your jobber, yeah. He's. I guess you could see, you could maybe swap him,
I
drop
mean,
and
you,
swap.
you could technically.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, Nakamura, he got drafted to SmackDown, right? I think,
Yeah.
and they did a bunch of those promos for him for a bit, and then now he's
And then
just
nothing.
He's a
surfing, going to
UFC
UFC.
corner man.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like our jobbers, we gotta get some better ones. But all right, S Bubs, you go first. Who are you dropping, and then who are you picking up?
Well, I have a trade offer here just to see
Uh-oh.
if it's. I don't think this person will give me the person I want, but I have an offer here.
Okay.
So for Travis,
Okay.
there's really only one person on your list that's someone that I was like mad I didn't get, which was Tiffany Stratton.
Oh.
And I have a trade offer here that I don't know if you'll take, but let me see. I wrote it. I wrote down my specifics here. Okay, so I would give you my pick of Charlotte, which you could drop into anyone else, and 60 bonus points of mine.
60 bonus points. I didn't know about the bonus points. Oh, that's tough. Okay.
That makes it enticing when we're throwing in bonus points.
Yeah, because for sure when he said Charlotte, I'm like, no way. The woman that's injured and making
But I mean, you
movies,
could
no.
drop
I can
drop
drop
it
her,
for
yeah.
anyone else.
But it's tough because she's in Money in the Bank and she has like good upside potentially. Oh boy, that is a tough one. Oh, okay. Because I'm just gonna hit myself.
In perspective, 60 points would be like if she won Money in the Bank and then won matches for like 5 weeks.
But not that cash in and then potential defenses down the line, right?
Yeah,
What if she wins that same night? Who's champions right now? You got who is it?
Bailey
Bailey.
and Liv, but
Yeah, it's not gonna
Bailey.
be Liv, yeah. And Bailey, I don't think they're doing that. So could be a while because I just gotta hope that she wouldn't cash in before. If I'm playing
And
the
then it's
scenario
like
where I
if
gave
she's
her
gonna
up.
have matches while she has the briefcase, because as a heel, she'd be like, "Oh, I'm just not gonna fight anyone besides the champion."
Yeah, and she has good promos. Oh, jeez. Let's see. The only reason I'm gonna say no deal is because there's two other people I already want to drop that I think are gonna sink my points. So that's where even with keeping her, because like then if I drop Charlotte and then drop my other person, then I have this other person that's a stinker. So that's why I'm gonna say no deal. It's enticing, but
Okay.
I'll explain who after. But yeah, that's why because there's two people that I think are not going to do well for me. So that's why I almost took it though. I was thinking about it. I was thinking
Okay,
about it. So.
then I'll do my actual switch here. So then I'll swap out.
Comic Things is right. Nakamura needs to pin every Saturday. Cody Rhodes at live ends.
They're going
I
to
can't
they're
believe.
going to they put on the poster for that Japan house tour. You know, he's main eventing against Cody.
Oh my god, how many like that? That must be like it's like the same way with like a comedian where you go on stage and like you do your set all the time. And I always wonder like eventually how it must feel like Nakamura and Cody been wrestling for since January. Like, and it's just crazy. Like that's like
I
you're
think
just.
since December, because they had like the MSG house show with Punk. That
Oh, it
was
was
like
before
a
Rumble. You're
Nakamura
right.
Cody bull
Yeah.
rope match.
That was his like lead up to the Rumble program, right? So it's like since December now they've just been doing these. That's crazy. They must know each other like the back of their hand now. My God, but all right, S Bubs, what's your follow up
Yeah,
here?
so I'm switching Charlotte Flair out for the other option if I couldn't get Tiffany Stratton, which is Lyra Valkyria.
For so you dropping Charlotte for Lyra?
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. Okay, so what was the main motivation between picking her?
I think she's won. I think like every single match she's in, except like the main event, like the Queen of the Ring final. And I don't think she's winning Money in the Bank. I mean, she could if they just like. I don't really see like the story for it, but I don't know. But I think she gets solid points. She's the new Becky, so damage
Yeah.
control just job to her every week.
Yeah, and I don't think she'll win, but you never know. There's many years. Obviously, that was in the Vince era, but there's many years in WWE they would throw Money in the Bank on just somebody you know, like Otis won it one year, and then lost it. But like, there's sometimes they just go for like, oh, let's go for the wild pick, and because they can still lose, it's not as like I'd say bulletproof as it used to be. Like before, when you won, it was like, oh, this person's world champ, and then Cena lost it, then Damian Priest, and then ever since, not Damian Priest, sorry, Damian Sandow, different Damian. So, all right, I think she's good as long as no injury. You're gonna get lots of points from her. So
Let me just write down here. I'm gonna write just who we changed out for, so when we scroll
Okay.
back, I'm like, where do these points come from?
yeah, when Charlotte returns this
She's gonna
weekend, does the Brock
return at Money in
Lesnar,
the Bank, yeah.
yeah, for the Brock Lesnar Money in the Bank, pulls it down. Okay, so who do I want to? Yeah, so here's the thing. I would have dropped them sooner. I'm gonna drop. Let me just make sure this pick that no one has it here. I don't think they do. I think I saw an S-Bub's little thumbnail there, so I think that meant they were safe to get there. Okay, I'm gonna drop the Miz because I feel like he's has usefulness. He's got me some match points. He got me WrestleMania take titles. I wish they would have lost the take titles before or after this because we all knew it was coming, but of course they lost them. So I ate some points there. But I'm gonna drop the Miz just because I feel like he's gonna go back to doing a lot of like Miz TV and this and that, like especially babyface Miz. I feel like he does not wrestle a lot, so I know a heel turn could happen, but I think he got what it could be for me. I'm gonna pick up Solo Sikoa, the new tribal chief of the Bloodline, just because I think I got some guaranteed SummerSlam main event points, and I feel, in Hines, we will talk about that. How big is a return pop going to be for Owen? We'll talk about that when we get to the 6-man. I think we all agree, just completely massive. Please put in a big crowd. Don't put in like Corpus Christi, Texas, which even though last time that's where they put Wyatt 6 and it worked out.
Crown Jewel.
Oh, no, don't do it there. But I think like you have guaranteed at least 3 big matches, maybe even some main events. But I think you got Cody Solo, you got the Survivor Series War Games that will all happen, and then a Roman Sikoa. Like even that could main event a pay-per-view if they have Cody in a tag team or whatever, right? So I feel at least there's some big spotlights, and the thing is, I think that I don't know what they're gonna do. I think he's gonna lose a lot, unfortunately. I think he's gonna like lose to Cody, lose to Roman, and then they'll probably lose the War Games. Like I actually think the new Bloodline should probably win the War Games, but are they gonna do that? I don't know. That's hard to make the OG Bloodline lose. But this is where my theory is. I think he'll be on lots of Raws or lots of SmackDowns getting other like minor wins to like make up for that. Be like, oh well, he jobbed to Cody, but he beat like Randy and AJ Styles and Kevin Owens. Oh, he jobbed to Roman, but he's beaten like Elton.
For now,
Prince.
he's just kind of like telling the others what to do. Like he's just been at ringside for like Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, and like when they did the triple powerbomb, he was just like
he didn't even do
it. He's like, go ahead, go do a defiant.
So that is my worry that he does that. But like I said, that's my thinking is if he's gonna eat a lot of losses, he's gonna
want to build
wins.
him up. It's like I think like the month before, or I mean, we're pretty much already there. But yeah, I could see him just like getting wins over. Like I'm sure do a tag team of like him and one of the other guys, and then he pins Randy, and then they have a one-on-one, and then the Bloodline hit him outside the ring, and then he spikes him and like, oh, he beat Randy.
Yeah, like have him in LA Knight wrestle him, finally get his win. You know, so everyone can play with live events. But yeah, that's my. I think there's still some risk to it because, like I said, he could just be the promo guy, but I think he'll get some build-up wins, and even then, like I hope if they do the Bloodline for Survivor Series, I hope they do like a bunch of random like mashups on the way there, like different tag matches, different 6-man matches, different one-on-ones. Like I feel like we should definitely get Solo versus Jay and Jimmy on the lead up in one-on-one matches too. So we'll see. So that's what I'm going with. And heck, maybe they just hit the F it button and he beats Cody and we just see the internet go ablaze. And then Roman beats Solo for the title and then we're just back to that. But that's what I'm doing. Dropping the Miz for Solo. David, you are up next.
Okay, I'm going to go along those same lines and I'm dropping Santos Escobar for Jacob Fatu.
Oh, damn. I had him as a potential. Yeah, that's
I mean, he's going to come in hot. Only downside to him and why I'm not dropped, I think that he's going to get a lot of work in.
Yeah,
but a lot of his only hindrance
1 versus 3 handicap matches against jobbers and everything like that.
Yeah, his only hindrance is his ability to travel outside the country, and with WWE doing a lot of overseas PLEs and things like that, I may lose some points there, but I think on a week-to-week basis, he's going to be the one doing the majority of the showing out for the new Bloodline. So
Yeah. I think he's gonna have a lot of squash matches for a while too. Like you're gonna see him just mow through a bunch of people. Like I said, the Ryback method, him versing a bunch of jobbers that in 10 years from now will be like in the WrestleMania main event or something like that. MJF security guard, but no, I think it's a good. I think he's gonna be wrestling a lot, and we'll see because I don't know what his status is traveling Canada. They keep showing him on that graphic for next weekend.
Yeah, I don't
so.
really know who's in that match.
and Canada is very strict about letting people in because
Yeah.
Usos have always had troubles with that.
Yeah, so maybe it's something squared away. Who knows? I don't know, but I think you're gonna get lots of wins. I could even see because if we're going WrestleMania, I guess not yet. I was gonna say the calendar year, but I feel like within the next couple of years they could even strap him with a like the mid tier title and go. Maybe that's the guy that beats LA Knight. I don't know, but yeah, I had him too. All right, S Bubs, you're up next.
Now I don't know who I want because I really did want Jacob Fatu. But I think I'm trying to look at like the balance of people I have on Raw and SmackDown here.
Yeah, Rock's always out there. Roman's always out there.
I mean, yeah.
No, Roman's good for like the one. He's really good for nothing.
Roman, I might pick on like the next one. If
Yeah,
he's
the near
back
the
by
end.
then.
Yeah, we might get something.
I think I will. I might as well just like take over this division here. So I'm gonna swap out Montez Ford for Io Sky.
Oh, thank goodness.
So I'm just gonna take over this Raw women's main event. Just to get points.
You get points no matter what. I think Ford's a good drop though. He really didn't do. They didn't do much with them this.
They
Yeah,
won.
not at all.
They won like a match and then challenged for the tag titles. And then like Bobby Lashley got injured, and then they had like no clue what to do with them.
I don't know. I know we said this every episode, but they just gotta put it. I feel like now that time when everyone's like, oh yeah, Ford's gonna be this big star. I feel like we're close to missing that point. We're close to getting to the point where I feel like it's gonna be too little, too late. Especially there's so many big stars around. Like I feel like he had a moment where he was peaking. And then they let him ride out from it, and now I feel like it's declining because they're just kind of around, and I feel like there's so many like new people or people shining or getting like even like a Roman. Like I know it's not the same thing, but when he comes back, it's just I don't know. I feel like with Ford, they're close to missing their spot of him being a big singles star. So
He should have had his push after WrestleMania 39.
yeah, he should have.
That time when we all knew what was going on with Cody and Roman, things like that. If you're going to work on building up a new star, that was the time for both the Street Profits to just show. I mean, they had excellent showings at WrestleMania. They had excellent showings afterwards. That should have been their time to be their rising stars, and they completely just dropped the ball with that.
Yeah. And then by the time he's getting big star, 3 years, he's going to finally get a singles push. MJF's going to come in. Like, oh, sorry, Ford. back to the Street Profits for you. Okay, so you got Io Sky there. Okay, well, I'm also going to go into the women's division. So I'm going to drop Austin Theory because the same thing with The Miz.
But he is pulling Grayson Waller off. He's going to turn babyface next week.
I do not believe in the babyface theory effect. I am somebody that does, same thing as like, I don't want anyone to lose their job or anything like that. But same thing with Dijak. I liked his matches, but I never thought, oh, this guy's going to be a big star for the company. I actually think he might be better elsewhere. Theory, I just feel like it's what I was talking about before on this podcast, where for years I had to hear people just shovel in my mouth, oh, John Morrison, man, he's the next big thing. And I'm like, no, he is not, and he wasn't. I'm saying the same thing with Austin Theory. You think those Damian Priest, maybe he'll do better babyface promos than Priest, because Priests are they're pretty tough to get through right now. But yeah, I just do not believe in Austin Theory, and I also think that because they're defending the titles Friday SmackDown coming up, right?
Yeah,
so I think
DIY.
I think they do have a chance to lose it because I feel like for the past 6
Someone
months
said that DIY first won the NXT tag titles in
they
Toronto.
did, yeah, against FTR. So, and I feel like that's been a thing that past 6 months, people like, oh, DIY. Like I feel like I've had 5 times where it's like, oh, this is when they're gonna win. Finally, like they're Triple H's kids. So
Then week after that, they're gonna get squashed by Solo and Jacob
yeah,
Fatu.
no, just Solo. He's a tag team champion by
One on
himself.
two, yeah.
No, Solo and Fatu would be great, but yeah. So I'm gonna drop Theory. And this one I don't think is like risky, but I'm gonna pick up Nia Jax. She wrestles a lot, and I actually do think there's a slight chance she could beat Bailey. I really do, because Bailey's had a good run, but like I don't think it's like out of the realm. I feel like they're trying to actually pump up Nia Jax, and I think
I think there's a chance she beats Bailey, and then like Tiffany cashes in on her like right
the same
away.
night. I think that's gonna
No, I
happen, but
mean
they'll
like
build up
at
to it.
SummerSlam. Like
Oh,
they'll be friends
yeah.
with like Tiffany. Like Nia's like protecting Tiffany for a while since they're friends,
Yeah.
and then like Nia wins, and then Tiffany just cashes in on her, and then you have like the Tiffany Nia feud for
Okay.
like a while.
I think that's gonna happen,
I think
but not
that's
at
what's gonna
SummerSlam.
happen.
I think it's gonna go. They might have it teased out for a little while and have them.
I do think Nia is gonna beat Bailey because they had like because with Piper it's supposed to show like Bailey like, oh, she could beat a Nia
Yes.
Jax, but then she won with like a roll up on
Yeah.
Piper.
I think it's to David's point too, where it's kind of like the main event Jey Uso thing, where I feel if it's not like Chad or Liv, because they're kind of like underdogs, and then obviously Liv's turn, but well, they both turn to heels, right? Because of that, but like the difference is Nia's already a heel, so it's not like Liv and Chad where it's like we keep losing. Oh, like screw everything, and now they're bad guys, right? If Nia loses to Bailey, I just feel like she couldn't beat Rhea because Rhea was going to Mania and she was too hot, and I feel like if she loses to Bailey, it's just like she's not credible anymore in a sense of like I'm not gonna worry about her winning. And I feel like Bailey
With the thing of them wanting to build like King of the Ring again as like the next Royal Rumble for SummerSlam, like I do think Gunther and Nia could both win to show like that had like the 100% like win rates. Like they could say Michael could be like those who've won King of the Ring to get a shot at SummerSlam have all won
It's 100%. Brock, Gunther, Nia. So I do think it's gonna happen. Bailey can eat the loss, and like her and Naomi can just become a tag team and go do that run for a little bit too. Like I think it's been good. I think the problem is that the Bailey storyline, they just haven't found. They haven't found the right person, and maybe it might be Nia to like real. It's just been Challenger of the Month, which is good, but I just don't feel like there's been the heat was her winning the title, and now that she's won it, it's just kind of been on simmer for a bit.
So. Very much so. It's one of those things they've said in the past, like in other things. I know it got mentioned in the Who Killed WCW documentary when they were talking about Goldberg. It's
actually I have something about the WCW documentary here, a trivia fact. Oh yeah, you can
go. Bailey fits that mold of the baby face is better chasing than she is winning. And I normally don't like that adage, but for Bailey right now, that's kind of the truth. Like, and she's won. Where do you go from here?
And that's not a big knock because, like, I feel like everyone would say about Stone Cold. Stone Cold's always better on the chase. Like, and then when he got the title, it's like, and that's why, at least with Bailey in the past, it's been like, oh, there's been Sasha or something. It's either she needs to be chasing or she needs one big story. And I just don't think there's anyone to give her that one big story over there. Maybe it'd be like a Naomi turning, but I don't think they want to take away the glow right now. You know, it's too fun. What was your trivia fact there?
I was actually going to bring it up last show and I completely forgot about it. But now that the documentary is over, I have it here. So it's it's a question for you guys. I want to see if you guys can get it. So it's which active WWE superstars have appeared on WCW television?
I think
if you get a few of them, I can tell you how many.
Oh, there's more than one. Okay, I thought
I knew. I know AJ has.
AJ's the one I had.
That's one.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh God.
If you get another one, I'll tell you how many there are.
Did Cody ever appear in WCW?
Yeah, he did.
A little kid? Yeah. Okay. The little kid. Yeah. I think that's all I would have got. I knew because I knew AJ, but
well, you got two, so there's five.
There's Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, that's the third one.
That's a good one. Oh man, who else was around in the?
You're on the right track with Cody.
Is he one of the five or no?
He's one of the five.
Okay,
yeah,
he's one of the five. I wish Goldust was here because that would have worked. Who else? Charlotte, she appeared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, she was in the crowd
Okay. So we just
during
And
that
then one
whole
more.
David Flair angle.
we need one more. And as for a hint, is this last one like an actual wrestler, or is it like a Cody Charlotte situation where they appeared as like a young person and now they're
It
wrestling?
appears a young person.
Okay. Oh, who else's kids going on right now in WWE?
I mean, technically, Paul Heyman appeared.
That's true. Yeah.
Geez, who else would have appeared as a kid? Who's a multi?
I feel like it's an obvious one. Like you guys are pretty much almost there.
Well, we got the Rhodes. We got the.
I don't know if Bo Dallas would be.
No, you guys are halfway there with one of your picks.
Oh man.
Who else is a kid? I don't think Randy's dad did anything in WCW.
I don't think so.
It's active WWE superstars from right now.
Okay, I'll throw in the towel. Who is
It's
it?
Dominic.
Oh my God.
Did Dominic
man.
appear?
Yeah,
Oh
there's
my
a clip of him sitting like front row, and then Ray goes over to him.
I was about to say
right
I knew he appeared
Yeah.
and was in an angle in WWE. I didn't think.
So yeah,
he
it's
appears.
Cody, Charlotte, Ray, Dominic, and AJ.
Oh, there you go. All right, David, it is your time for your second drop if you want that.
Okay, so I'm rocking in the same vein you are, and I'm going to drop Charlotte Flair. And
Charlotte Flair. You didn't have Charlotte Flair.
I thought oh damn, Espo says Charlotte Flair. Sorry, I'm dropping Becky Lynch,
Okay.
other injured person.
Just drawing people from Espo's roster. Yeah, he doesn't need
Yeah.
them.
No, I'm dropping Becky Lynch because she's definitely going to be out for a while, and I'm adding everyone's favorite.
I have
Espo says
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
I'm going with Chelsea Green.
No, Espo
I have
says Chelsea.
Chelsea.
You have
I picked-
Chelsea where?
I picked her in the first round. That was my from the heart pick. In the this is my number 10 pick.
You can try to trade for her. You can throw it up.
I'm not dropping Chelsea. You can give me two
Why do I
numbers
not
bonus
see her on
points.
my list of people that you have?
Yeah, she's right beside Cody there in the
three,
I always go by this
6,
photo,
7,
and she's right beside.
I only
Cody.
have 9 picks written down for you. That's why.
Oh, there you go. Just trying to
Alright, so-
take and drop from Espo's roster. Drop Charlotte. I'll take Chelsea.
Just give me your entire roster.
Yeah.
I'm still dropping Charlotte because, like
Yeah.
I said, she's
Becky.
not coming
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
Or
Becky.
Becky, because she's not coming back anytime soon. Neither of them.
Seth wasn't coming back until the Rumble. We were thinking now.
Yeah,
so he's
I
in a
know
match.
See, I figured.
and we thought his knees were like destroyed, and he's just fine. I guess.
Nah, I knew Seth would come back earlier than Becky. I figured
Glutton
Becky
for
would
punishment.
that, and she's gonna want to go and do her mom thing and just take some time off and heal and things like that. Whereas Seth is like, I'm a machine. Let me just do this. He is. He wants to beat that John Cena Royal Rumble appearance. He wants to be like,
Right,
oh,
yeah.
you thought you could come back in 6 months? Yeah, I got you beat, bruv. So I am going to go, still dropping Becky. I am going to go with Tama Tonga.
Tomatonga. Okay.
Okay.
You'll get some solid points there.
I
Plus,
think that's a good pick. Yeah.
there's a chance like a tag team run as well too. Like it's like a title run. They could easily beat DIY in the future.
And for needing the bloodline on those overseas PLEs,
Yeah.
he is the better of the choices. Like, I like Tongaloa, but I don't think that they are going to use. I think Tongaloa is going to be the pin taker of the bloodline.
Oh no.
He is going to be the one who, when they need them to lose, it's going to be because of shenanigans involving him.
Yeah. Not if you bust out those chops though. Those New Japan chops. They got them.
I mean, the other thing is he can't cuss like he used to in
No.
New Japan, so that takes away. Because if you've ever seen any of his matches, there's a lot of F-bombs.
He does his Joe Pesci Home Alone story now.
Yeah. All right, S Bubs, are you dropping or keeping your jobber?
I think this or no, this is my third pick that I could drop here. Not the genre.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm keeping my genre. I don't know. I don't see anyone like. I'm sure there is like one that I could pick that would make sense, but I don't know. I don't think I don't care that much about about the genre points. I guess so. I'll
Yeah.
keep but this third pick is one I'm like. I'm thinking if I want to drop it because even if they do, and there's a chance that they start getting like more opportunities, I don't necessarily know if they would like win.
Yeah.
And then, but this other person could also just like, after this current push, just like not be on TV for like weeks on end. So, but then the person I'm dropping has got me a total of 3 points.
Oh.
But so I think I'm gonna do it. So I'm dropping Dominic Mysterio,
Oh, Dirty Dom.
and I'm trading him for El Idolo Andrade.
Oh, okay.
Because I
Finally,
think there's a
The
chance
speed
that
champion, speed
after this
champion.
push, yeah, Andrade, like, let's get him in the ladder match, and then he's back to speed for like 6 months.
Oh,
But
6 months.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm dropping Dominic.
Yeah, I could see it. He obviously was injured, but I could see it's a good reason to drop him. So,
Yeah.
for me, I think I'm done with the drops. I have somebody like my only one because it wouldn't matter. I drop him. My only one I thought about was AJ because I feel like he got me my big points, my event points. Like I don't think he's gonna have any of that run again. He's consistently in matches, but he's been away for a bit. I know he's going to do that like a Noah match, I think, but I just don't know what stories there are for him right now, especially on SmackDown. Like like him and LA Knight did a bunch of stuff. Him and Cody are done. So that's what I thought. But then the person I thought about replacing him with was like it, like I could say it because I probably might not even do it, but it is Carmelo Hayes, and I just don't know. I'm really torn on this one because same thing as Carmelo. You know what? I'll do it. I'll drop AJ for Carmelo. Could be a mistake because maybe that could be like LA Knight's like first challenger. Maybe Carmelo will get a bunch of like one-off wins. So I didn't actually think I was gonna drop AJ, but now when I'm talking about it, I actually see okay that he like I said, I just don't know what story there is for him right now on the main roster, especially then the
Yeah.
Bloodline's picking up. Like, I don't see he fits in there. Or at least Carmelo, I feel like he'll be beating a lot of just mid card guys. He could verse LA Knight. Hell, maybe they could even beat LA. I don't know. But
He'll fight Corbin and then Apollo, and
yeah.
then that's what was on SmackDown. They were just because Corbin and Apollo Crews are like best friends now. I think
Oh,
he
great. Yeah.
saved in a match against Santos Escobar. I
And who
think people
knows?
lost the match, but Corbin helped him.
Great help there by Apollo there.
Babyface
But
Corbin.
who knows? And maybe Carmelo gets that hot shot Money in the Bank. Maybe they're just like, yeah, let's just throw it on him. So yeah, I'll make the swap. I'm not. This is the one I feel least confident about because I could see like like they can't forget about Carmelo, right? He was a fucking #1 draft pick. But I feel like they've just not done much. Yeah, I know. As Dijak just got fucking released, but like yeah, like I don't feel like he's like had a huge. He had that one match with Cody, and then he's just kind of been around. And I know he's been feuding with LA Knight a little bit. Maybe that moment that LA Knight cooked him, they lost confidence in him when he did that whole, oh, LA Knight doesn't want to verse you. And then LA Knight when he did the whole like, oh, I don't want to be looking in the mirror, pal, and whatever he said. And it was
Yeah.
and I actually I hated that Carmelo tweeted about it after like, oh, send me back to NXT. Oh, I'm gonna get back. Like I hated that he just should have just moved on and ignored it. But it just felt like
They
it
even
felt small dick energy, and I hated that he said anything. Like, no, just
They
play it
even
off.
saved it with Kayla Braxton's last video appearance on WWE because she had that moment a few weeks ago where like Ellen Knight was trying to get her to like
What do you
yeah,
think?
and she didn't
Yeah.
react at all. But on the they did like her last video segment on WWE was like an interview with LA Knight, and like she did it, and he was like, "Oh, you're much more happy this time to see me." So that's her last appearance on WWE was saying yeah for LA Knight.
Good. Yeah, and I'm like Bubs. I'm not gonna drop my jobber because I don't have anybody else. I'm hoping that he's back and drop
Pretty
some tag.
Deadly's back.
Yeah, like I'm hoping that they're back and they're gonna get me some points here. But I don't have, like I said, I was coming in here thinking it was gonna be JD. That was gonna be my move. But now I think JD will get some wins for at least for a little bit. I guess he will have to lose the tag titles eventually. But I feel like the Raw
I don't
titles,
know.
they just
Yeah, I don't
I
know
have no
who
idea.
like they lose them to at this
It's just like
point.
a placeholder. They need they. I might go back and forth of like I don't know if splitting the titles was the best idea anymore. I think it maybe should stay like the women because I don't know if the tag team rosters are strong enough to really
Yeah,
like Raw
but
is
even
a
then,
barren
like when
wasteland.
when they had like the undisputed ones, like on SmackDown when Judgment Day got it, they would like they wouldn't really show up on
No.
SmackDown. They had like one match against like the Street Profits, just like randomly with no build up. I think before Survivor Series, and that was like the last time they were on SmackDown.
Yeah, that those belts have not been properly done from the SmackDown perspective. I mean, they're just there to be there. They're there for storyline purposes, not for actual competition wise. And I mean, I like both Grayson Waller and Austin Theory like individually, but this and now you got at least with the Judgment Day, like you're going to see them winning matches and
Yeah.
you're going to see them doing things with the belt, and that's going to further into their long term storyline. Where with on SmackDown, it's just like, why do we have these?
All right, David, are you dropping one more?
I have gone back and forth on this multiple times, and I do think that I am going to end up dropping Kevin Owens.
Whoa,
Wow.
he's gonna wrestle the Bloodline a lot coming up here.
He's going to lose to the Bloodline a lot.
That's the points though. I mean, yeah, this week I literally got zero points. So even like a loss from someone would have been better for me. I mean, so did Travis, but he got negative points. So he
Oh,
ended up
let's
at
not talk
0.
about that. Jeez Louise. Well, who you replacing him with then?
I am going to go way out of left field, hoping a prayer here. This could seriously
Joe
backfire.
Hendry coming up.
Julia.
Say his name, Neil Pierre.
I am going to go with Uncle Howdy.
Oh, okay. I could see the upswing. I could also see the downswing of them just promoing for 6 months, but
Or him being like the manager, and then all the other ones have matches.
I think he is going to come out strong.
Yes.
Now, by the time next draft comes around, they may be weaning off of that, but I do think that he is going to come out strong. I don't feel like they are going to just only promo him for the next 3 months. You got to do something with it, or it does lose its mystique. That was
I
one of the
think I was-
problems that they had with Bray was that strong promos, but then you were having them losing, so it immediately lost that mystique. I don't think they're going to make that mistake again.
I think if I just read about, so you guys have let me know. I think with the Fiend, I think people are saying like the teases started on the Raw after Mania, so same as Uncle Howdy here, and then his first match as the Fiend was at SummerSlam.
it's tough because I think that could happen. And now, David, are you dropping your jobber at all? Or you keeping Naka?
Yes, I am dropping my jobber.
Okay, so yeah, do that, and then we'll circle back and start talking about the Wyatt 6 because I was gonna go on for a bit there, but yeah, who? Because S-Pubs, yeah, for sure, you're not dropping your job, you're keeping yours.
Yeah, I'm keeping.
Okay, so we're keeping
Cesaro.
ours. Yeah, so who you dropping there, David?
I'm dropping Nakamura and I'm picking up my man Xavier Woods.
Oh God, that hurts. You're not wrong. I didn't think about that. But
I
he's-
love Xavier Woods too,
Yeah.
and that's what makes it so bad. Like he's gonna be eating some losses for a while, and he's gonna be eating some losses on TV for a while. Nakamura's eating some losses, but they're not televised.
Yeah.
Woods it's taking them on TV.
Yeah. No, that's
Dropping
fair.
to Kofi when Kofi turns heel.
Oh God, there better not be a turn. This whole get Karen Cross. I don't know. Karen Cross is the whole situation,
Yeah.
especially now that the Wyatt 6 is back. The whole Final Testament just they look like the home brand straight to DVD version. It's just like I don't know what they need to do. One thing is Karen Cross needs to do is shave his head. He looked so much better with the shaven head.
Yeah.
And I think AOP needs to be by themselves. But well, there you go. That's our drafts update. So we'll see what happens. The next time we can switch is
I can
Survivor
read
Series,
through
right?
the yeah before Survivor Series.
For Survivor Series. Okay, so that's gonna be the next switch. That'll be the final one into the home stretch of
Because
and then
Survivor Series, if you had like, because that's War Games, so you could get
yeah,
that's like if you
good main
that's
event
4
points.
points for special, like for like a
A stip,
stipulation.
yeah.
So then that'd be 8. So if you have multiple people in that War Games team winning, you get like 8, 16, 24,
Oh yeah,
32
I can't
points.
wait. That's gonna be a good
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
I can
Tongaloa,
read.
that's your
Yeah,
time.
I can
I've got
read
two
through
bloodlines in there, so
Yeah.
I'm good. I can double point it between Tamatonga and Jacob Fatu. So
Yeah.
come on, bloodline, win that.
I can read through the new rosters here.
Sure.
Okay, so I have Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Bailey, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Johnny Gargano, Io Sky, Lara Valkyria, Andrade, and Chelsea Green, with
Mhm.
Tozawa still as the jobber. Then Travis has Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, Jey Uso, Braun Breaker, Liv Morgan, Carmelo Hayes, Nia Jax, and Solo Sikoa with Elton Prince.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then David has Gunther, Bianca Belair, Damian Priest, Tamatonga, Uncle Howdy, LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, Finn Balor, R Truth, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods. That's the jobber.
There we go. So we'll see what happens as we got Money in the Bank coming up here. So let's talk about the men's Money in the Bank, but we'll also tie that in because we're talking about Wyatt 6 and I'll guess Chad Gable.
Oh,
So
and
we have
I can say the points we all have
oh yeah,
now.
yeah, it gives the
Yeah.
points too. Yeah.
So I'm at 160 with
Okay.
159 bonus points. Travis is at 130 with 65 bonus points.
Okay.
And David is at 125 with 89 bonus points.
So without the bones, which those could swing anyway, we're all
Yeah.
pretty close in the first run there. We're within 40 to 50. So and we got like Money in the Bank. Multiple things could change there with the winning and the cashing in and
Yeah,
stuff. So
Money in the Bank is 50 points for that winner.
now I do want to clarify because we are in Money in the Bank season. If let's say because what's the main? Let's say it's Seth and Damien, right? Let's say Damien wins and then Jake cashes in. Are we still counting the main event as Damien and Seth, or is the main event what would be after?
I think like the
The
advertised
advertised,
main
yeah,
event.
Yeah.
I agree. Because yeah,
Unless
That's like the Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. He says he
well,
never
see,
main
yeah,
evented
exactly. He didn't
WrestleMania.
really, he did, but
I
I
mean, he
I would
showed up like yeah.
I would call that one actually I would call that one a main event if they
really,
actually turn it into a triple threat. But if the match is over and then he cashes in, that's not a main
I
event.
guess, I guess you're right. Where the main event doesn't end. Yeah, I could see that. I could see
I'll
that.
say that yeah. If they cash in and the match isn't over,
And it keeps going for a bit and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, I could see that. And
Yeah.
also,
I
like,
would give that the.
Because
I
Seth
mean,
didn't
plus,
automatically win that match. That
but
there was
for
some stuff in there before he
yeah,
won.
the main event points anyway, that's all for all the other ones. I've done it like a solid one. Like I haven't given. I don't think we've had two, but like both people in the main event. I think like for all of them, like even on Raw, it's been like if one of your people is in a main event, that's like your 5 main event points,
yeah,
and if you
yeah,
have the pay per view main event, that's 20. So I don't know if it's like if you have multiple people, like if your guy cashes in on someone else you have, you're not getting 40 bonus points. Like you get 20 anyway.
yeah,
I guess
yeah.
what you're saying is like if you had someone, if the two people in the main event aren't yours, and then your guy cashes in, then you
Yeah,
would
you
get
make
main
all
event
the main
points.
event points. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, I think it's a good agreement. Unless they do the RVD John Cena style where they say in advance they're cashing in. Like, let's say Jay wins and he's like at Bash of Berlin, I'm cashing on Gunther in the main event, and that is counted as well as like a main event
yeah.
if it's planned. So
Yeah.
okay, I just wanted to clarify because before if someone cashes in, they're like, well, what happens? Because I saw that like a couple of days ago that trending tweet of like Roman, Seth, and Dean when they all held the title the same night, and I was like, Oh yeah, I guess we should clarify what would be the main events. Okay, if it happens after the match, not a main event. It happens in the middle. It's main event points, and if it's an advertised, I'm cashing in on this date. That's a main event as well. So okay, good to clarify there. So. All right, so yeah, we get the men's Money in the Bank. We got Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, LA Knight, Chad Gable, and then who's the other? It's like
It's
Ela.
triple threat. It's Ilya, Drew, and Sheamus.
Right, that's a tough one. It's not Sheamus, I'll say that. That's a so.
Ludwig Kaiser's gonna like hit his knee again, or well, Logan might be injured, but he can probably still walk out and hit Sheamus's knee.
Yeah, I just wonder because everyone's been saying to CM Punk screw him on at Raw or Money in the Bank. I'm gonna say McIntyre's in that last spot in my opinion.
I think he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this whole thing now has been like he was saying how he hated Money in the Bank, and it's like a hypocritical.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
now he's gonna get in the match and try and win it.
So on these participants, before we do the predictions, when you were talking about the Wyatt Six and SummerSlam and everything concerning Chad Gable, I imagine that's going to be Uncle Howdy, which I really don't want them to still call him Uncle Howdy. I hope they get rid of that, whether it's his real name Taylor, but like it's just that's such a it's not a great name, but it's fine, whatever. Even though they just call him Howdy, which is still something, but I get it, it's into honor Bray. But I imagine that will be the first one. I would agree with SummerSlam until only thing I need to know is that also gonna be a 5-match card, or are they gonna make that a bit bigger? If it's bigger, then I think Howdy versus Chad could happen. It's a semi-squash match, and maybe that's why they could do it because it's shorter. But if it's 5, that's the problem with to me like Howdy getting screen time. But to counter myself, they're gonna sell a lot of merch. People are really interested, so I think if there's enough interest, which there will be, they will make the time for it. But that's where I'm torn on the whole Howdy Chad situation right now.
I think SummerSlam, because now they're wanting to build it as like the second WrestleMania, especially with like the 2 nights. So I could see it being like a 7-match card. That's what WrestleMania was.
Okay,
And you could have one short, like 2 of those could be like not as long, I guess.
This would be a short one, I think.
Yeah.
I think Chad would get scared, do a couple moves.
Because you're probably
Undertaker things.
Your long matches for SummerSlam are probably like Gunther, whoever.
Yeah.
Like Seth
Cody
or Damian.
Solo.
Cody Solo might not be as long, especially if like Roman's coming back at the end. Because that could be like Roman could get like a 10-minute entrance.
Okay, so that's what I'll say. The segment of it then will be long because the match to the end of the show it'll be like 45 minutes. I bet.
It'll be long, but it will be shenanigans long.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those ones where the actual in-ring time is very short, but the shenanigans, the outside of the ring, the brawling, and all that other stuff is what's going to send it over the top.
Yeah. Bailey Nia could be like a decently long
15 to
match.
20, I could see.
Yeah. What else is on that card? Like,
I mean, Logan Paul's going to have
his
his time to shine as well.
Yeah.
They're not going to short match Logan Paul.
You've Drew Punk in there somewhere.
That'll go
right?
long. Well, hopefully for Punk's sake, it goes to a right amount. But like it should. I think that's like it'll go long in the sense of there's gonna be a lot of like aura in that match, like a lot of stares, a lot of like moments.
I think with Drew Punk, if it's main eventing, like Roman's not coming back yet. If Solo Cody is main eventing, then Roman's coming back.
Solo Cody's main eventing. I'm telling you, Cody's the guy. They got. It's always been a thing. They did the Punk 10 years ago. They made him the guy, and then fucking John Cena versus John Laurinaitis was main event pay-per-views. They even I know people are mad about Solo. That's lame, but like it's got to be Cody and Solo. It has to be like I don't and like. Yeah, we'll see.
You could even have like Drew Punk open just to be like they're gonna get their hands on each other like as fast as possible.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think Howdy and Chad could happen, and I think, like you said, David, that's the right route. Is book them, they have to win, but then also don't put yourself in a corner where you're putting them against like the tippy top guys. Like don't make it Howdy versus Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. Like only do that when you're ready to like start and then pull the trigger.
If you're ready for Howdy to beat one of them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. I think to me the ceiling.
You're gonna have like Howdy squash Roman at Survivor Series.
You get the old Bloodline versus the Wyatt Six, but like I think the ceiling to me for Bo Dallas and the whole company or a whole team is like I see U.S. title. And I think that's fine. It doesn't have to be, oh, he has to get there. And that's what I mean. Like, he should, for 6 months, they should just do some stuff, go after bad people, and yeah, get those wins. Because they should not put them against the top guys. You can have the other guys win the team titles and stuff. So I feel like, yeah, Chad at SummerSlam should happen, and I hope it goes well. I guess we didn't talk about that too. I loved the whole reintroduction of them. I think, yeah, it was pretty samey to the Wyatt family, so there wasn't much of a surprise factor or like Bray's last return. But I think it was a good setup, and people are having a good time with it. And I hope they keep it up because, as I've said before, Undertaker's the reason I started watching wrestling. So I like all the spooky hijinks and everything. So go sell that merch, guys. Go get those sell those bunnies, sell those shirts and everything. So I hope they can pull it off right, because I think it's always better to have some sort of weird group in wrestling like this. So hopefully they just do this where they beat a Chad, they beat like whoever the next asshole on Raw is. Like, I don't know who would be after, but like somebody that's not true. Again, don't like keep them away from those guys, but
Braun
somebody
Breaker versus Uncle Howdy.
yeah, or even like to me, not a terrible sentence. Like even the Judgment Day. Like if they turn on Damien, it's led by Finn. Like that team versus like JD and Carlito and Finn Balor and like that's fine there. Like I think those are the right obstacles to go. So
One thing I hope they do is like with the interview thing they did with Uncle Howdy.
Oh,
I hope they do that for all of them.
That'd be
like
great.
in the build up to like SummerSlam. Like you have Uncle Howdy. I don't know if they do like Uncle Howdy interviewing each person, like each person being interviewed by
They
like
could,
their
yeah.
other self. I think it works both ways. But
Eric
yeah.
Rowan one is going to hit some people's heartstrings because you
Yeah.
know that where they're going to go with that one. So that one's going to be just crazy. I mean, with the rest of them, you don't have that much depth.
Yeah, on some of the QR codes there was like the big website that had the QR codes for a while was like it was like a Heaven's Gate type website, and that had like a character profiles sort of. It had like it sort of gave the explanations that they're probably gonna give in their interviews, and like yeah, they all lost like their families in one way or another. Like even Dexter Loomis with like the way and stuff, like they counted that as like his family going away.
Who do you think's winning the actual men's Money in the Bank now? Are they making it as obvious as possible with the poster, David? Or are they just telling us, hey, it's just Jey Uso, get ready for it?
I feel like they are making it pretty obvious. I think that Jay's gonna win, and I think that something is going to happen with LA Knight to continue him down the road with Logan Paul.
Oh yeah.
So that's why he's not going to win that, because then if he wins, he's automatically in the picture for the world title, which we don't want right now. So if he gets costed by Logan Paul or one of his associates, then that keeps him hot there. I think your only other option other than Jay realistically is Chad Gable.
That'd be fun.
I don't see Andrade winning it. I see him putting on crazy spots. I don't see him winning it. Now they could give it to Carmelo for the push.
Yeah,
I mean, he wouldn't be a bad choice, but I
whole
feel
year,
like
right? You could build them for a year if you wanted.
yeah, they've just been telegraphing it with Jay.
Yeah.
And again, guys, main event Jey Uso, he can't keep losing in the main event.
Yeah.
What about you guys, Bubs?
I mean, my prediction for Jay could still kind of work. Like he could still cash in same night on Seth and Damian and win there, and then Gunther beats him at SummerSlam, or he cashes in on the SummerSlam match and then Gunther beats him at Bash in Berlin for the title.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Gunther winning in Berlin would be amazing.
I think the end point is like Gunther's gonna have the title by the time they leave Berlin, whether that's him going in and retaining in Berlin or him winning in Berlin.
Yeah. It's odd if he loses at SummerSlam and goes to Berlin and win. Like I don't know. I feel like
they can't pull a Drew again.
Yeah. I'm gonna be risky here. I'm gonna go against the grain here. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that Drew's gonna get the final spot and Drew's gonna win it. I think there is tons of story potential of Drew McIntyre with that briefcase because I feel like sure, it's like I agree with you, Dave. It's like Jay does have to win a big one, but is it a big one if he like wins a title and then like 3 weeks later he just gets like fucking John Cena squashed by Gunther? Like I like that's the thing of like the only way I guess I'll accept that is in the Gunther match if like the Bloodline screw him over because that's the way to be like, oh well, he didn't lose, like they screwed him out of it, he had this opportunity. But I almost feel like the Jey Uso winning a singles title should be like a bigger thing and not a transition. So I think you guys are right that they'll probably go that way, but I almost feel like with the poster it's like, but then at the same time it's like, do you want to, you got to sell that briefcase, you know?
I mean,
Like
it's like who else like do you put like if you're doing I guess a multiple person poster, but then it's like which of the other guys do you put on the poster? It's like it's gonna sell the show there. It's like you're gonna put Chad Gable on the poster to sell
yeah,
the
that's
Money in the
true.
Bank show.
That's true. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with Drew, and it's gonna be an outside pick, and I'm gonna hope that it happens because I think there's tons of stuff that, like you said, the hypocritical angle. It's always he can have a shot for a title, and I could just see that could be a way for them to get to multiple things with him and Seth again, or Punk and Drew, like whatever. I guess see this where for some reason Punk down the line wins the title, and literally seconds after Drew cashes and take it from just a screw. It's like I think with Drew there is so many avenues where with Jay I feel like we got the one avenue and that's he cashes in really quick on gun like I get like let's talk about the men's like let's talk about Damian and Seth because that's kind of their intertwine there. Same thing of like is Seth just gonna win it to just drop it to Gunther? Is that the plan? It's like they just want to have like I'm. It's a
Well,
good problem
the
to have,
special
but
stipulation now is if if Damien wins, then Seth can't challenge for the title while Damien is holding it,
yeah, which is not
and
much
then
longer. So
yeah,
it's not that bad
I
of a
mean,
stiff. You
I
got
mean,
Gunther and Money in the Bank.
Miz could go back to challenging for the IC title now because that was his stipulation. He could have challenged while Gunther held it.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Miz and Braun Breaker, SummerSlam. Here we go, baby.
And then it's if Seth wins, then Damien has to leave the Judgment Day.
Right. That's the problem with that one because I don't
But then
like.
the thing is, Damien accepted it because he's like the Judgment Day needs me more than I need them.
Yeah, he's
So
all
even if he
arrogant about
does
it.
win, like, and he's telling them to, like not help him, like it's like, well, I didn't even need you anymore.
Yeah,
That's you get your. I mean, yeah.
because I feel like Priest being on the Judgment Day, I want the Evolution thumbs down moment. You're like, I want them to turn on, but I don't want to be
Like
like,
everyone wants the Damien Finn match.
yeah,
Like you just don't know when it's
yeah.
happening, really.
Can't wait for those promos, man. Finn and fucking Damien.
The
Come on,
Demon
dog.
versus Uncle Howdy
The
Survivor Series.
Demon versus dog. I guess the only way to be fine is if like I know lots of people think the Judgment Day might screw Damien. Maybe that is a way to like they screw him and because he loses he is out and something. I don't know. I'm gonna pick Seth for that one because I think they look at the marquee of SummerSlam and I'm not trying to be mean against Damien, but I feel like Damien and Gunther and then Seth and Gunther that has a much better look to it, the latter one, and then you can do Damien and Finn. That's like a fun like. Or maybe you even have like Finn and JD versus Damien and a partner of his choosing or something. I'm not sure if it's Dirty Dom or somebody, but I feel like Damien and Finn is
Cody
a
Rhodes.
better. Yeah, Cody Rhodes. He's gonna pull double duty. He's gonna fight Solo and Cody. But I think I'm gonna go with Seth here to win. I think so. I'm going with Seth.
You sort of convinced me, but I gotta stick with my guy Damian Priest
Okay.
here for the prediction.
And is your prediction that's Damien and then all the way to Gunther, or is it Damien, Jay Cash, and then Jay and Gunther?
um, I mean, if Jay, I'll say yeah. Since I'm predicting Jay as well, I'll say Jay cash in. Or no, I won't say. I don't think cash in the same night. So I'll say
Okay.
Damien holds it until Gunther. That's really only like a month after, anyway.
Yeah,
And
I wonder.
then I guess G-
What if we do that scenario where it's Gunther and Damien, and Jay does the triple threat option? You know, he does that, and then that's how you get
that could be
Bash and
like,
Gunther.
have they done that before? That could be like an interesting one where he like as a babyface move, like he cashes in, but like right at the start of the match. So like they're like about to get
Oh
started, and he's like, "This
yeah,
is a triple threat now." Like he
that's never
doesn't like
happened. That'd be
to make it
good.
fair. Like
Yeah,
they
that
both
would
get
be
to the
good.
ring, and then like Jay's music hits, and he's like, "I'm gonna be the third person in this match."
That'd be good, and then you could have Gunther lose. You still have Damien take the pin, of course, and maybe the Judgment Day fucks him over, right? That's what you
Yeah,
do. And then at Bash, that's how you get that match. Is Gunther like,
that'd
yeah, I had a
be an
one-on-one
interesting
match.
match. Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had a one-on-one match, and you
yeah,
just
because
literally
that's like Gunther's whole
hijacked
thing.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you hijacked my match. So you know what?
I want that now. Now I'm gonna be
Yeah.
mad if that doesn't happen.
That'd be really cool.
Yes.
Especially everyone would be like, "Oh, Jay's off a SummerSlam. Like that's really weird." And then because that pop would be huge. Imagine like the bell rings, and then right then, like oohs, and you're like, "Oh
Yeah.
my goodness!" Like well,
That
the
is
only time
so
it happens,
good.
like Braun Strowman like threatened to do it like multiple times. He'd always like come down the ring and like stand there, and then there was like a montage of like 6 times he'd get super kicked.
Didn't
Or,
like Austin Theory do that? Like I saw a clip like Austin Theory threatened to like cash in on like
Oh,
Ilya
God.
Dragunov while he was in NXT. Like he showed up on one of the NXT shows and like, "What's Mr. Money in the Bank doing
Hydrogen
here?"
bomb coughing baby scenario.
Yeah.
Theory with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Jeez. David, what's happening here with the men's Money in the Bank winner, Damian Seth? What's happening on next Saturday?
It's I want it to be Seth, but it's not going to be Seth. It's going to be Damian Priest. It's going to be Damian. He's going to keep that belt just a little bit longer. I think that if the stipulation was that Seth, if he pulled a Cody and he could never again challenge for the
No,
title,
we're not doing that.
then that would be different. But there's no way in hell that they're doing that. So I think Damien's going to at least keep it through that match. Now, will he keep it at the end of the night? I don't think so. I think he's getting cashed in on that night.
Okay. So here's my question for you guys, and why I'm still gonna pick Seth. And even though I like that Jey Uso scenario, what does Seth do at SummerSlam then? Because it's not Punk or Drew; they're gonna be off. Let's say it's Damian and Gunther. You got that going on. So like, what's Seth's story? That's why I feel like that might be Seth's story is just a job to Gunther. But if it's not that, what do you do? It's gonna be fucking Howdy, Seth, and they're gonna kill his career again. But yeah, Dave, what do you do with Seth if he's not winning? What's he doing for the second biggest show of the year?
I mean, you joke, but I could see the whole revenge thing from Howdy.
Oh, God.
I hope that they call him Taylor Wyatt and not Howdy,
Yes.
but still, because of
betrayed
that
your
crappy Hell in a Cell finish from years ago. I mean, that this could be the redemption of that horrible ending that made no sense.
To give it
There's
context for
Seth crying again.
yes, that literally the reason we have Seth freaking Rollins is because Seth became the Kingslayer. They broke up from the Authority, beat Triple H, and they literally in the first match of that WrestleMania had him beat Brock Lesnar. Not like clean, but I think it was like a street fight, so it's like clean enough, like whatever, right? So he beat Brock Lesnar, no cash and anything like that. And yeah, they put him with Becky, and some people didn't like that. I was fine with it. But then they put him with The Fiend, and every time The Fiend showed up, Seth was like a 5-year-old kid, like, oh. And you know why Chad Gable couldn't do that on Raw? Because he's a heel. As a heel, you're allowed to do the, oh my God, no, but when you're the fucking world champion babyface, and S-Bubs, they fucking, like, it's not exaggeration, they killed Seth Rollins. Like, I'm not saying he's getting carrying cross props at that era after, but it was bad, and that's why he had to do, like, a heel turn, and, like, that feud affected my man for the rest of his life. Now he's always dressed in this fucking shit. Like, you know how much I want that Seth Rollins back, like Kingslayer, the Architect, whatever. But no, that feud messed up. So that's why I want them to stay as far away as possible. I don't want Seth doing any more fucking scary shenanigans ever again, unless he's a bad guy, you know? But, yeah, oh God. And again, for me, the pushback is I don't want Howdy in the group to be heels. And I feel like Seth is a babyface. So I want Howdy, because the people want to cheer these weirdos, so don't put them against Seth. So, who's the IC champ right now? Braun
I
and
mean,
Seth?
it's gonna be Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
I
we'll
mean,
talk
they
about
had
that
the
next,
match for You could do that as like a parallel. I think a year ago, almost exactly, they had like Seth went to NXT and had a
Yeah.
World Heavyweight Championship
Time
match
to
with
return the
Braun
favor,
Breaker.
pal. Give me that
Yeah,
IC. I can't challenge for the world title. So yeah, you know what?
yeah. And
Seth and
then Braun
Braun could work.
puts over Braun. Good guy
Yeah,
Seth.
he
Yeah.
squat. Yeah, him and Gunther just two
I mean
squashes.
that'd be a great match though for an
Yeah.
IC title. That'd be a good one.
Okay. I could see the vision there, Braun and Seth. That's not as bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
think
can
that's
definitely
possible,
rock with
honestly.
that
Now
more.
I wasn't thinking of it, but I think that could work. And that's a big time. Like you have two big stars in there, even for an IC match. So
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I feel like I don't know how it's gonna happen because they haven't said there's like mid-year trades or something, but somehow Sammy has to get to SmackDown, right? Like I feel like he's gonna be one of those pieces with the bloodline. Like I feel like for Andy is like the substitute Sami Zayn. Like I I know they want to do Cody and Randy at some point, but I really actually wish Randy was on Raw and Sammy was there because it feels I know like oh yeah they hurt me years ago, but I feel like it's odd to have this. It feels like you're doing an Avengers movie and one of the Avengers can't be in it. So they're like, well, we got this new hero, but Sammy should be. It's just weird that the Bloodline is kicking the shit out of his best friend. They're still running amok, and Sammy's just on Raw, just like, come on, Otis. You can be
yeah,
you can cheer up.
because they traded KO to SmackDown for
Yeah.
Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they never did anything about it. I thought they were gonna make Kevin Owens kind of pissed about that, but they never happened. So, and even Jay, like Jay to me feels less vital right now, the Bloodline, than when Sam. Like I think Jay will feel vital, especially when Jimmy's back and everything. But like, I feel like anytime I see Randy, but I guess it's fine because maybe that's how I hope War Games ends with Randy fucking just planting whatever this not the sixth man, but I think it should be Randy planting him with an RKO at some point and
Yeah.
screwing him over in the Bloodline feud, you know. Which
Now-
great line by Cody calling Solo a seat filler on Friday. That was prime stuff.
Jimmy does not have a brand assignment, so he can pop up on either or. He was never drafted.
Yeah. He just goes to Raw so he doesn't have to deal with the Bloodline. Goes to NXT, NXT TNA.
I need him to cut the Cody Rhodes. I need my brother.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get that. Yeah, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting how they all do that. But yeah, so yeah, we all said that. I think we're all on the line. Braun's being Sammy, right?
Yeah.
Good run for
I think
Sammy,
so.
but yeah,
I'm losing my Sami Zayn points,
and
but
I'm gaining this. Yeah.
he shows up like every week pretty much.
Oh yeah, he's gonna wrestle a lot still, and I think Braun's gonna have a Gunther type run. He's gonna. I'm not saying he's gonna beat Gunther's run, but like if you were to say would Braun hold it for a year, I would not think that's crazy for him to hold it to like all the way to SummerSlam because I don't think he's gonna. I feel like it's like Gunther when he loses it, it's gonna be when they want to put the big strap on him, and I don't see WrestleMania 41 like Braun like
John
in that
Cena
picture.
versus Braun Breaker, IC
For the
title
IC
at
title.
WrestleMania.
And Cena's
Yeah.
never won the IC title. Absolutely. That sounds fantastic. And make Braun be the guy that retired him. Yeah, that's a great.
People forget about Austin Theory.
They should. That match was fucking awful. That match did
Horrible.
Theory no
That's
save.
so
favors.
bad.
They did him no favors in that match. But Braun and Cena, and again, also Cena, like I know what you're doing. I love it, but like with Theory and Solo, don't do a fucking match where you're just gonna get like destroyed the entire. Like make it like actually competitive again. Don't be like, well, I want to put over the young
He
guys.
buries Braun Breaker a week before the
retires his IC champ. He doesn't even defend it again. He just takes the title. But okay, so we got that. We were talking about this a little bit. 6-man tag: Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens versus, as Wikipedia says, the Bloodline: Solo, Tama, Tonga, and or Jacob Fatu. So we don't know what's going on there, but
We'll find
also
out at some
yeah,
point.
we'll find out. And then also along with this match, obviously throughout the months we've had Solo, or weeks since we've been casting. Solo's been he brought Fatu. He's been building up his people, and then A plus stellar segment this week with Paul Heyman. Because I actually for a second thought Paul Heyman was gonna say Tribal Chief just out of fear, but when he turns, because when he says "I love you, Solo," I'm like, oh man, and that's like a great character like differentiator. Is he still loves Solo? He loves that family. But he can't call him the Tribal Chief, and just like you are not my Tribal Chief. So good on Jacob Fatu. For guys, I hope Paul's okay. That was a rough getting him up there. I know there's tons of memes about it, but that segment was that's like again. This is why the Bloodline stuff when last year when I was always bitching about like Solo doesn't have the title, and they're still producing that great content. Like the drama's within the family, and it's fine now.
Yeah,
It all
because it
worked
was
out.
like
But
the thing before was like when Roman wasn't there, there would be like no story
yes,
updates. Like Solo and Jimmy would be like backstage just talking about like, oh, I don't like Randy Orton or whatever,
yeah.
and then they'd fight
Roman
him.
says you should keep an eye on Randy Orton, like, and they're saying that,
Yeah, but at least
and
now like
Solo's touch his thumb all the time. Like,
yeah, but Roman's not here, but they're still progressing the
yes.
story. Like they make each week like important to tune in. It's not just
Oh
like
yeah.
AEW, like they have the thing like Solo Sikoa in action tonight.
Oh yeah, no, and it's been great stuff, and that Paul Heyman thing was great. I don't want to see Paul back until Roman's back. They have to come back together, and no,
Agreed.
this is just great stuff, and that's why for me, you can go back. I was never. There's so many people that I think gave up on Solo's bloodline. I'm not saying he's gonna go on some generational run and be the next Roman. He doesn't have the same skills, but like for them to everyone just be like, oh, this is such a downgrade. It's like, well, that's kind of the point, and now I feel like they're starting to show like, okay, we were the downgrade, but we got Jacob, we're taking out Paul. They are showing they're dangerous and everything. So like for me, I was already fine with how it was going before, and now I'm ecstatic, and now I want to see they have to win on Saturday as well too. They cannot lose. If they
Do you think Solo pins Cody, or is it like the team
That's
just
tough.
wins in general?
I think you
Like
gotta have
let's say
Solo beat
like
Cody.
Jacob Fatu pins Kevin Owens, and it's
Course,
like, oh,
KO,
Cody's
yeah.
team lost.
I feel like if they're going solo Cody, it's got to do that. They have to do the solo pins him and that, and Cody
I
doesn't
think you
like
could
it.
even do like, let's say Jacob Fatu's in the match. He might not be, but like, say like Solo gets hit with a bunch of finishers, he's down, and like then like Jacob hits finishers on Cody, and then he like puts Solo on Cody, and it's like, oh,
Oh
Solo
yeah,
pinned, but like you see like, oh, like the other guys did all the work.
that's
I
tough.
could see that. I could see Jacob just running wild, taking out Cody, and then literally doing the step aside.
Yeah, it's
Here
like how
you go,
Rock pinned
and have
Cody.
him pin
Like
him.
Roman did the spear, and then like Rock was just on the side, like
Yeah,
waiting for the tag in, and then he hits the people's elbow and pins
I
him.
guess the only difference is like he's the Rock. Where solo, I
Yeah,
think you still need
I mean,
some
but
juice going
Solo
into it.
thinks he's like
I know,
Roman.
but like for us as the viewer, I need to believe Solo could beat Cody. I guess not alone because the bloodline's always around. That's all. That's always forget about Roman. It's so funny. Like when
Because like
Roman, they
Cody
paint
on
him.
that one last week, he's like, "Leave your guys in the back," and Solo's like, "Okay," and then like 1 minute into the match,
Yeah,
the guys run out.
and I always forget about that with Roman. He's like billed as this like unstoppable champion, but like for 75% of his matches, he did not win alone. Like he's
Yeah,
one
I
of the
think that
worst
was the.
unstoppable champions of all
You
time.
said the last clean Roman win was like Matt Riddle on SmackDown in like
Yeah.
2022.
So I guess so the bloodline's more so yeah, I guess that could happen. I think they just got to do it in the right way. Where because again, this is what I think is preemptive. So many people are like, man, make Jacob the tribal chief right now. It's like the dude's been here for a week. I know everyone watches him on the Indies. I know he's great, but like he can't just. But I do think they do got to watch. They don't want to make people more interested in Jacob than Solo right now. Maybe down the line, but either way, I'm in the camp that I think Solo has to pin Cody, whether it's by him just spiking him a bunch, whether it's Jacob, whether it's the whole crew. I think you do that, and then that's why Cody's like, I need to verse you one on one. Because remember at WrestleMania, he said that with The Rock too, right? He's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
I got pinned by him and I beat him. So I got two questions with this follow up. Is one, this is going, whoa, some balloons there. How did I
This
forget
like 3D effect. I saw you earlier. You did a thumbs up and it had like had a
the
cool
thumbs
like
does this,
3D.
yeah, and then
Maybe I'm like too blurry or something for.
There he
well,
goes.
They
yeah,
don't understand my saw room.
and then the thumb, yeah, it doesn't understand. And then you got the thumbs down. I know I have the prompts, and then this does the fireworks. So this is what it's gonna be like when
Oh
Roman Reigns
wow.
comes back. How does I don't know how I did the balloons, but what I was gonna say is I'm trying to figure it out. That was fun, but
I mean, it has to be some sort of
I can go
like
back. What am I even saying? I'll
command.
go back
Yeah.
later. But one, I'm surprised where I was taking because I did not think this whole solo tribal chief was going to be the case. I thought it was just Rock calling the shots from afar, and then that would be the big reveal that it's been Rock the whole time. And I don't think that's happening anymore. So that's one thing. And two, when do you guys think Roman is coming back? So, David, what do you think about those two? What do you think The Rock's role now is coming back? Because I think we all kind of thought, oh, yeah, there'll be a divide, but it doesn't seem like Rock, as of right now, is part of it. And then, when's Roman? Is it Money in the Bank? Is it SummerSlam? Is it after that? What's happening?
I think Roman is going to be closer to SummerSlam. I know he just finished something with a movie.
Yeah.
He wrapped a movie, and I think he's also currently filming another one, which should be done around the SummerSlam time. So I think as though the announcements of those movies are coming out, that's when we're going to see him. They're going to do like they used to do with The Rock, where you're going to get the big push because there's a movie coming out and we want to do that cross-platforming. As for The Rock's return, I think The Rock is going to sit out for a while. I think that especially after everything that happened with WrestleMania and then this documentary finally coming out, we're going to get our fill of The Rock that way, but I don't think it is a good time for him as a character to reinsert himself.
Do you think he's still on board for 41?
I think so.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be a quick build. I don't think it's going to be the months-long build. I think it's going to be a beginning of the year, maybe sometime around Royal Rumble time is when we're going to start that build. I don't think that it is going
He
to
should
be...
win the Rumble, man. I'm saying it right now. The Rock should win the
I
Rumble.
think that'd be better than if he won this year, because some people are predicting that. I do think he could actually be in the Rumble.
I'm
Like,
okay with
if
that.
you
I'm
don't-
okay
if you
with
don't
final
have-
boss entrant number 30.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you don't have like MJF or Bryan Danielson, you can put The Rock at number 30.
Yeah,
Yes.
MJF will get that in 2027 or 26, whenever that. Like, he'll be number 30 at some point, but
Yeah, I'm okay with The Rock coming out 30 on that final boss character. That's fine. That works for me. But as far as right now, yeah, I don't think you see him anytime soon. So, but I do think that Roman is going to come back around SummerSlam because you got to get ready for a Survivor Series.
yeah, I'm just curious now if Solo thinks he's this tribal chief. Like, what does The Rock feel about that? Like, I feel like The Rock saying to Roman Reigns, I acknowledge him. I don't think you're going to get that same TV of The Rock acknowledging Solo. So, like, I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. Wouldn't that be a moment? Like, I don't know. Like, could you do that where he comes back and, like, he just asks for the lay and he's just like just give it, like Solo just has to give it up? I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's interesting because I did not think they're going to go this route with Solo, but I think it's needed because he is the one on weekly TV, right? So it makes sense. But or I wonder if Rock is completely apart from that and he's just about Cody. I could see that too, where he doesn't even interact with the Bloodline, Solo, Roman, anything. He's just there to beat Cody because he liked holding his title, that creepy Rock for WrestleMania, and he wants to hold it. So I could see that where they just don't even do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't have any interaction whatsoever. I mean, only other way I could see The Rock coming back is for The Rock to reintroduce Roman, but that doesn't make sense only because it's heel versus heel.
Yeah,
and
Roman's gonna be a baby
need
now. Yeah,
Roman to come back as the triumphant. Okay, I'm getting rid of the B squad.
yeah.
That's what I think. I think Rowan is coming back at SummerSlam, especially like now he's coming back as a baby face. When he first came back at SummerSlam, it was like the debut of the tribal chief, like in
Yeah,
2020. So it'd be like a full circle thing.
And then what? That's August, so September, October, November. We're thinking War Games.
You've got between then you've got probably Bash in Berlin, Bad Blood, Crown Jewel, Survivor Series.
Bad Blood. Yeah.
That's pretty much confirmed to be the October
Yeah.
show. So
Can't wait to see what Cody does there. You know he's in that cell match. You know he's gonna be there. So.
Oh,
the 45
bleeding
minute Hell in a
everywhere.
Cell match.
Yeah, him and Randy got to do it. Randy in his back and everything. So, all right, and yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm just thinking about even the Rumble of like, is Roman in the Rumble? Is Soul in the Rumble?
Roman in the Rumble would be like, especially since like he hasn't been in the Rumble like in person since like 2020. Like,
and that'd be good too, because he could.
That'd
be
be such a good entrant. Just having him face off against like all these people who would like they'd like never get a Roman. Like you get Elton Prince fighting Roman in the Rumble.
Dirty Dom and Roman finally. We're gonna see the dream match. But yeah, and maybe that's where we might never get Roman and Rock, but maybe that's where Roman's on a roll and then 30 hits and then it's like, oh, what do you do? It's, you two together and stuff. And I see the storyline for Roman, right? Like he wants to go back to WrestleMania. They could market it as like, and even Cody, it's like, oh, let's make it a trilogy. I can't wait to fight you. Like I can just see Cody with that cheesy babyface promo about like, we're tied one apiece. Let's end it all. And then like I could see for months.
And you can have Punk and Roman in the Rumble. Like everyone's down,
God.
and then it's like Punk and Roman stare down in the Rumble.
There's tons of that, yeah. But I could see them actively making us think we're gonna get Roman and Cody 3, and the internet just also being fucking just a nightmare about it. But that's where Solo could screw over Roman, right? I know people think like Solo and Roman's like a very discount WrestleMania match, but it's like I don't know. That's buckle up. I think that's what you're getting. You think so?
Yeah, I think it could be. Like if you have Roman lose into the War Games, like you have Solo beat Roman somehow through like how Roman would always win. Like you have the Bloodline like beat up Roman and then he loses to Solo, and then you have the War Games match.
I just feel like that's the problem of if Rock comes back for Cody and they do that. I just don't know what you do with Roman. I feel like that's why they're gonna save Roman Solo just in case,
Yeah.
Because like I think the dream scenario people want is Rock and Roman and then Cody and Randy, but I don't know. Rock seems to be like all the reports have always been like, yeah, Rock kind of wants to do the Cody thing more now, which is like, all right. What was like again? Like I wish they would do one of these at SummerSlam and then one at WrestleMania. That would be the perfect scenario. But instead of Rock, we're getting Solo. So
yeah.
Final match on the Women's Money in the Bank: Io Sky versus Chelsea Green versus Elia Valkyria. I'm never going to say that name. I say it different every time. Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi versus 1TBD. I can't remember who were the three that are on Raw right now.
It's Zoe Stark, Ivy Nile, and Dakota Kai. I think it's Dakota Kai to build this damage control split even more.
Which is good
because I think Kyrie's probably going to be like the face here. Because the story is like Io pretty much keeps telling Kyrie that she's like useless and can't win anything. But even though Io doesn't really win that much, but she's like, you guys can't do anything. But I mean, you could have like, I think that's what the split there's going to be. But yeah, I'm sure Zoe Stark was in it last year. Unless they just want to keep pushing her, I don't think she's in it. Ivy Nile's not going to be in it, so I think it's Dakota Kai.
Definitely. She's the only one who makes sense both storyline wise and match wise.
Yeah, and those six, I think that's a great lineup. I really like that if it's those six.
So who's taking it? Is it the person you tried to steal from us, Bubs? Is that who you're?
It's definitely. Honestly,
I'm honestly thinking at this point, if I had to make an actual prediction, I do think it's actually Chelsea Green who's
really.
God, she would be I feel like so Tiffany great is like with that.
Even on commentary, they're like, oh, like Tiffany's like, I forget. It must have been like Wade, I guess, since he's the heel, but she's the obvious winner for Money in the Bank or something like that for Tiffany.
Oh yeah.
They were saying like she's the number, like everyone's betting on her. She's the number one pick. Like she's the obvious winner. So I think somehow I could see Chelsea just doing like run up the ladder, grab it like when people are down.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if they're gonna pull
the
Tiffany
trigger. I think with Tiffany it's one of those like she's not talented, needs to be elevated. Like she could have a match tomorrow with the women's champion. It's like that makes sense. Like she would need the briefcase to get a shot at the title.
I'd love it if it was Chelsea because I think there's tons of fun. I think Chelsea, there's a good chance she would probably lose it too, unfortunately, the cash in. But I think there's tons of fun with her with that briefcase. Lots of like scenarios. I'm sticking the course. I think they're gonna keep building Nia, and I think they're gonna use Tiffany to do the big turn on Nia. Not that I think Nia as a babyface is a route you need to go at all. So maybe they try and find a different route. I don't know. Maybe they may. I really don't know. That's a tough one. So I'm gonna stay the course and feel like WWE is gonna figure it out, and they're gonna stick to Tiffany and Nia at some point. Because I agree. I think Tiffany could get at any point. Tiffany could also be a Women's Royal Rumble winner, where I don't think Chelsea could, right? So I think you guys have good points. So it's a 50-50. I don't see anybody else. I think Lyra, even the Hot Shot, I just don't see that yet. I don't think it's the same thing as Carmella. Naomi, I guess you could always throw to, but I just feel like they're been wishy-washy with their booking. Io, I don't think she's going two-timer. And Dakota would be a very fun out of the blue one, but
Yeah,
I think that would have been better if somebody in Damage Control still had a title, because then
Yeah.
that would be a scenario. But I would like, because Dakota, like, she's very talented, so I want to see that spot. So, but the same thing isn't as Jay. I'll give it to Tiffany because they're gonna want to make some fucking custom pink Barbie-esque briefcase, and they want to sell those. So I'm sticking my course. I'm saying Tiffy time is getting Money in the Bank time. So
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
it's got to be her. And my thing with Chelsea is, imagine tuning in and you have her still doing her "Can I speak to your manager" gimmick, but now doing the "Do you know who I am" while
Yeah.
holding up the briefcase.
yeah.
So do
I
you think?
think
Oh, go ahead. You go ask
I
me.
was gonna say, yeah, no, I think this is gonna be a great, like, Tiffany. She's done some good ladder. I mean, people always post that clip from Stand and Deliver. Like, she goes for a swanton, like, from a ladder in the middle to the ring to the outside, and then like they just don't catch her. Like, she fully
Yeah,
backdrops on the floor
brutal.
outside, and they just didn't catch her. But I think it'll definitely be a great match, and I like. I'm predicting Chelsea Green, but I think it, like, realistically, it's pretty much a toss up between Tiffany and Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think it's a like, and even with the men, I can make a case for almost every one of those guys winning. Where the women, I think it is a 2-horse race. Like, even for some reason, if they did want to be like, oh, we're gonna put on LA Knight, I could see LA Knight having it and then not catching for like a long time, right? Like, because he's just a guy that he could win
Get
at
that
any
Slim
moment.
Jim briefcase, carry that
Absolutely,
around,
yeah.
advertising.
He's even a
It's
guy
like
that.
like how we're thinking the Prime briefcase, but
Oh God, I don't want the Prime
that's what
briefcase.
we were talking about. I think maybe on the
Yeah.
first show because we were thinking he might be in it, but.
No, watch him fucking win it, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, that's I'll
I
challenge Logan
I did
Paul."
try Prime yesterday just to see how it tasted.
How was it?
I don't know. It was like it tasted
I don't know.
it tasted good, but also, like, after I drank it, I was like, I don't know. It tastes weird. It
You
tastes like
didn't feel
lick.
right.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
tastes like liquid, like Sour Patch Kids, but not sour. It just tastes like the
Oh,
blue Sour Patch Kid, like a
it,
liquid.
it
It's
tastes
just
like
like
a
super
melted bomb
sweet.
pop.
Yeah, it's just like
okay.
super sweet, and then it just, like, the taste just, like, stays there. I don't know. Like, it tastes good in the moment, but then I'm like, I don't know if this is good.
You're not selling me. You're not selling me on this.
I
Yeah,
only
no,
drank
it's
half of it too because it was too sweet. The other half is still, like, downstairs somewhere.
yeah,
And
it's not good.
I
um,
heard there's other better flavors, but I just drank, like, the blue one.
No,
okay.
I had the red, white, and blue one, and it tasted like a melted bomb pop. It
I
tasted
mean, I
like
think that's
you're
what
out
the
in the
flavor
summer and
is.
it's
Yeah.
starting to run down, and you're like licking it off your hand so it doesn't get sticky. That's what it tastes like. And I'm like,
Mhm.
this. It's just it's here. It's here.
Jeez. All right, so let's. Oh my God, is this? What is this? For some reason, I
What?
look at the Wikipedia for Forbidden Door, and like, even Wikipedia's over it. They just put Naito defeated John Moxley. That hasn't even happened yet, but everyone just knows that's happening. But yeah, is there anything else WWE related that we didn't? That we didn't. And the funny thing is, like, none of the other matches are like that. It's all like MJF versus this guy, Bryan Danielson versus this guy.
I
But
mean,
that one's like Naito defeated John Moxley.
I could talk about when I went to NXT like
Yeah,
2 weeks
no, tell us
ago.
that. That was because I didn't even know you got to like pick up like buy a shuttle to go there. So yeah, what is the whole
Yeah,
experience of getting into NXT and watching that?
yeah. You have to join like a Facebook group that's like the
Okay.
official NXT Facebook group. Then, like, after the shows end on Tuesday, like at like 10 p.m., like in between like 10 p.m. and like 10 p.m., they'll send out like a Google form, and you have to, like, write your name down and your email and stuff like that.
Sounds like a scan at the beginning. Like, it's
Yeah,
like on
it's weird,
Facebook, Google
but I mean,
form.
they put it on
I
like the
found it on
show.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, I'm going to NXT guys for $8,000. Yeah.
So yeah, you do that, and then throughout the weeks they'll send you a bunch of, like, confirmation emails. You have to like respond yes every time to make sure like you're going.
Yeah.
And then yeah, day of you show up at like Full Sail, so where they used to do it, and there's like a bunch of production trucks there, so you know like okay, I'm in the right spot here. And then shuttles pick you up from there and drive you to the PC, and then from there,
And do you
uh,
get like a assigned seat before, or is it like a you just?
no, it's just like
No.
in order of showing up. Like we
Oh,
like
okay.
I think people show up really early, even though it says not to, because we were like we got there like on time, and we were like pretty much at the back of the line, so we were not really in a spot. Like we were like the entranceway is like here, and they always show like the side to the right, like
Yeah.
when people are walking up, and we were like on the left side, so you can't really see us on TV. We're sitting, but it was a good view. So you were like
Nice.
right next to the entranceway, so that was cool.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I saw some. You got a couple likes there from
Yeah,
Trick and stuff like that. Yeah.
but yeah, we they tape a level up like before, so they
Mm-hmm.
do like two level up matches, and I thought it was funny how they do it because they do like the two level up matches, and then they have like the main event of level up. But to get people like more excited for it, before they tape that level up one, they say like, "Oh, we're about to go live," like on
Yeah.
the USA Network. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone's like getting hyped, but they're not like they're taping the last level up and then they go live.
They would do that on Raw. I'm not sure if they still do that, but when I went there, they do it when they tape like their main event match or something. You get some dark matches, then the main event. You're like, oh, it's live. And like, no, it's like it's not 5 yet, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
But the level up matches were like pretty fun. There was one guy who was like selling really people posted he did like an air guitar sell. Like he got hit on like the head and he like bounced up in midair, did like an air guitar before falling down. But yeah, and that was the show that started off like before going live. Like Frankie Kazarian went out,
mm-hmm.
like he was the first battle royal entrant, and then like all the people went out there, like 23 people in the ring for the
Yeah.
battle royal, and then that's where Joe Hendry came out.
Got a big pop there. He was good.
No, yeah,
I was surprised he was in it for so little, though. I thought they were gonna play up him a little bit more, and maybe he'll come back. But
yeah. Frankie Kazarian was the one who stayed, like he was like top four, I think.
yeah,
But it was a good match. The thing I noticed is like all the hits sound way louder in real life than they do on TV.
mm-hmm.
Like there's this far like Dragon Lee like kneed Nathan Frazier like off the apron, and
Yeah,
like that slap there sounded so loud. Especially like when I look back on TV, it didn't sound as good, but it was cool. It was really cool.
yeah. Oh, especially there, it's like it's not like a massive sized place, right? So it's like I
No,
felt
yeah,
like
it's
Echoes
pretty
Reverse
small.
was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I've only NXTs I've been to is like the ones before WrestleMania and whatnot. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Is it something you would want to do again, or was the process kind of a pain to go through?
Uh, I would like to do it. It definitely takes like a while to, especially since it's up in Orlando. So we had to go up there to do it.
Yeah,
But it was definitely a fun time. And yeah, if there's some special event, like if they advertised it, there's gonna be some big appearance. I'd probably go. I mean, the week before, like Cody was there,
yeah,
but I think the show that week wasn't as good actually. But I really like the show we got there.
yeah. Well, and any wrestling live is always a good time too. Like it's like it takes a lot to not be good. Like maybe I went to God whatever WrestleMania was in Dallas, and it was Triple H and Roman the main event, and the show
Oh,
was
the
just
WrestleMania 32.
yeah. Overall, that was like one of the not worst, but it was like oh, but
I mean, people posted that clip a few days ago of Sika, how he was
yeah.
like in the front row with everybody booing Roman, and he's just like going wild there.
Yeah, no, that was cool. Yeah, R.I.P. to Sika, obviously, big legacy there, big career, and obviously, lots left behind there. So,
Yeah.
Hmm.
all right, well, let's quickly talk about Forbidden Door here. I got the card here. I just show a picture of all
I
the
put it
matches.
on Discord.
I can't take credit for that. That's someone else on Twitter. I saw that. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, 14 matches. Like I said, we're not gonna go down each and every one because there's a lot there. We'll just
I was looking at them and like all of them like I feel like have pretty obvious winners.
yeah,
Like every single one.
that's always been the unfortunate thing with Forbidden Door for the most part is like even the first one I remember was Punk. He had that AEW title. He got hurt, and then it was like Moxley versus Tanahashi. It's like, well, like Moxley's gonna win the. I actually wish Tanahashi won it, and he just dropped it for a little bit. But that's kind of the always issue. Like luckily the main event's the one that's the I'd say like least predictable. But at the same time, I think we all think Swerve's still gonna win because I think we think, well, if Osprey's gonna win, it's probably gonna be in the UK. It's like the Gunther thing, right? Like it feels like or what they're gonna do with Bash and Berlin and everything like that. But no, it's for the most part pretty predictable, and I think it will still also be a good show. I think this year, and David, you can speak to this next. Is I feel like for Forbidden Doors, I feel like this is the one that definitely has like the least amount of hype, though. I feel like the first one was really big because it took a lot to get New Japan, and I think the second like year had like a really good card, and this year I think it's still it's a good card. I don't think there's bad matches here. Like I actually think Naito and Moxley will be really good because I'm a big Naito fan. And Zack Sabre and Cass will be good. Like I think some of them will be good. I do agree, obviously, with people where there's lots of matches, so that could get like taken down a lot. So I don't know. And actually,
there's no oh my god matches. There's no I can't believe they're doing this matches. And part of that,
I think Swerve and Will is though. I'm surprised they're doing this early, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's not a oh my god they're doing this. That is oh my god they're doing this already versus oh my god they're doing this.
Oh, you're doing it too early. We don't like it.
Yeah, there's nothing that's just like jumping out at you like I can't believe they got this person to pair with this person. Everything else is just like okay, like Naito and John Moxley, we've seen that before.
Yeah.
You know, Monet and Stephanie Vaquer, like cool, but eh.
And we know Mercedes is winning that. Like
yeah, Danielson, Shingo Takai,
Creative control.
And part of that, I do feel like I don't know if New Japan still has the roster to support.
I was just gonna say,
oh my god, moments.
AEW's taking them. Jay White, Okada, like me being the biggest ones. That's exactly it. Where you beat me that point, David. I was gonna say those last 2 years, we had people that weren't on the roster. Now we see them weekly with AEW, and they're not dream matches, and like they are in a sense, but they're not in that sense of like, oh, two companies working together. So I feel like they do, and now TNA seems like they're more in like the WWE bed. So it's like you got CML and you got, New Japan and a couple others. But that's the thing. Like, I'm really curious what happens next year because I just feel like there's not enough for the big matches. You can have a bunch of like these undercard matches. And I actually should shout out to like Tony Storm versus Amina. I think that is actually going to be really good because somehow Tony Storm and Mariah May is like the best story in AEW right now. Like that's the one that's intriguing. Every week I want to see what happens. Mariah May is fucking killing it. Like she's like, her stock goes up every week. That's an example of use the TV time you have. Most of the time she's just a manager, but man, her facials, her reactions, it's like she is getting really over. So that's where it's like, I'm very excited for that. So
they could have switched that from a championship match to a who gets the rights to Mariah May match, and I would still love every moment of this.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't add that in as like Tony's just going to win it there. But I'm sure they'll have a lot of other great matches for Wembley, but that's one of the other things here, the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Mariah winning that and getting her and Tony at Wembley, that is going to be... If they don't do that, Tony's missing the ball there because that could be really big. I'm not going to say it could be match of the night because I don't think AW fans they'll lean to like an Osprey or a Swerve or a Danielson. But as far as like a storytelling wise, that could be a really underrated gem that night if that happens. So, and I think does anyone else think that Mariah's not winning the Owen the Hart Cup for the women?
Soraya main eventing.
Well,
again.
she could. It's in Wembley. She has history, Tony. No.
Look, we gave you your moment. We gave you your moment. Go be angry on Twitter somewhere. We gave you your moment already.
Oh man. But yeah, Mariah's winning that, I think, right? Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with her having lost like a few weeks ago or months ago, and people were really mad.
And then while we're here with the men's, because we got another thing too that I just don't understand. I saw both arguments, but just like people get mad at Jeff Jarrett in the cup. Like, he's gonna lose round 1. Just let him be in the fucking tournament. People are like, this isn't good for the roster. Look at all these people who win records are in here. Like, it was like one of his fucking best friends. Let him be in the Owen Hart Cup.
I would genuinely want to see. I would genuinely be excited for a Bryan Danielson versus Jeff Jarrett match. I would actually want to see that.
That would be fun. I would love it because I do agree that I think Hangman
They had
might
a
be that.
like that 6-man tag like a few weeks ago. Or something.
Right, I forgot about that. Yeah. Like, I do think Hangman is probably the wild card person, and they dropped that promo on Collision where he's
That
all
beautiful
alone.
They pretty
promo.
much said
Yeah.
he is. Like,
Yeah. Which I'm not sure if are they trying to insinuate, like, because I know he went away for personal reasons. Are they trying to, like, hint that he's, like, divorced in real life now? Like, that's what I took from that promo, because he was in his house alone now. He
Like,
wasn't
everyone left him, and now he's going back to drunk Hangman. Like, what?
Yeah, so maybe even just in kayfabe, he's like drunk and alone, and that'd be great. But no, I would be down to see AEW Twitter just melt if Jarrett got to the finals. Not at Wembley, but yeah, if he got to the finals.
I mean, actually, that'd be. I'm thinking about it now. Like, if you have Hangman come back and like the Elite think like, oh, it's Hangman, like he's gonna win the whole thing, and like he shows up and he is like drunk and depressed and like just
He can't
Jarrett
do
beats
it.
him because like the
He
Elite
gets
fired
counted
him. Like
out.
they didn't
Yeah.
even talk to him like after they fired him. It's like you're gonna win this thing for us, and like
Yeah. Yeah, that could be good. There's some things there, and I think at least if Hangman's in there, it is in some question if he does win though. Of like, okay, is it Bryan or is it Hangman? Because at Wembley they could do both. But like I said, that to me was something I just don't get why it's one spot in an 8-man tournament. Let them just book Jeff Jarrett to take a pin. Like, I don't know why people are just, maybe it's because there might be people that didn't grow up in that era and know how good friends they were. I get it, but just like.
One thing I did read that like it's like sort of a criticism. It's like I mean it does really mean that much to them. Then like why didn't they put him in like the first one or the previous one?
I know the first one he couldn't because his contract. I think he was still with WWE at that point. And second, I really don't know why he was not in that one. That I'd have to look back and see. But I think because he was still an agent with WWE during the first one, or he was just coming off of like a non-compete, like don't go anywhere. So yeah, and who knows? It's just who knows? Tony didn't feel it was right time. He can't have you there. But
I mean, in that first one, they did the whole thing with Adam Cole and Britt Baker, and the power couple winning it and everything like that. So
yeah,
like I got that one for that push. I thought they were gonna do more with the Owen Hart Cup afterwards, and they never did. It was just like, all right, here you go, and here's a belt that see ya.
Yeah, and a trophy, which I do. Again, that's why I do appreciate. I don't care if it is like King of the Ring. I like that's like, okay, you get a world title match. Great. Like that gives you some reason. And I think they should, because if they're trying to make All In, as I've always said, they don't have their WrestleMania. They should. And I think it is All In, but I think it's a mistake to always do it at Wembley. But if you can make Owen Hart like a Rumble-esque, like, okay, it's the lead up to your big event, like a King of the Ring, I think that can work. They just have to actually stick with it and everything. So. Let's see if there's anything else specifically here. So that's what I was going to say before, because we will probably, maybe by the time next time we do this on air, we might have a winner. Who is your pick for, we all think Swerve's winning tonight, right? Against Will?
Yeah.
Okay. So who is your pick for Wembley then? Is it Bryan? Is it Hangman? Is it Jeff Jarrett? Who do you think he's getting at?
I think it could be Bryan.
Yeah.
And like people are doing all the memes of like Tony Khan forcing Bryan to win the title.
It's like I've seen
Just
multiple.
taping
I
them
mean, I
together.
have seen like I think he could like I think he probably wins though, and to have that big match like that's a main event match. I don't know if he wins it. Like I think there could be a chance he wins it and then like drops it back to Swerve at like Wrestle Dream
Because it's
something
Seattle,
like that.
Washington. Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a slight chance, Tony. It's kind of like Sting. Sting said he didn't want to win the championship, and Tony's like, doesn't matter. We're putting the tag team titles, and that's not as bad because the team titles, so whatever. But he still is like, no, you're winning these titles, and like. I'm not like against it because like whenever you look back at hopefully AEW's here for a long time. If you look back at the lineage of the company, I think it's cool to have like, oh yeah, Bryan Danielson was like a. I think another reason to be good is because in AEW, whenever the world titles happen, it's always been like, oh, they win it and they have it at least for half a year. There's never been like, oh, this, that one. I don't know if I love it. It has to come at Swerve's expense, but then what I want is what SO's pitch is. He loses at Wrestle Dream, but then Swerve wins it right back at Wrestle Dream. Like it literally goes Daniel to Swerve, and then that's it. And Swerve goes back to it and everything because I don't think
just copying Jane Gunther, AEW copying
the
WWE.
whole summer is the exact same thing because that makes it less predictable. Because then in AEW, it's like if any time someone wins a world championship, you just know, oh, they're safe for 6 months. Like there's nothing that's gonna happen. So and that's why I'd say put it back on Swerve because I don't want Swerve to be done with his run. I do think him and Hangman have like another class.
You could have that rematch at Full Gear for the championship.
Yeah,
like 1 year later.
Hangman's pay-per-view, and that's the pay-per-view named after him. And they were going to do a steel cage match, but then they both. The rumor was they all said like, no, let's leave it because that was so good. So they have stuff in store for another match. Clearly, they have it in mind. So that's like a great trajectory of Bryan wins in his hometown, he loses his title, and Swerve wins it. Swerve goes on a little run again. You get to Hangman, and maybe Hangman wins it. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with that situation. Maybe a heel MJF, which I did end up liking because at first to speak on other AEW stuff, I did not understand. He comes out, just says like he returns, right? He's pretty much just MFing people. I don't give a shit. I'm a bad guy again. And he's going to get cheered. That's fine. But it just felt very uncharacteristic for him to be like, hey, young chap, like, you want to verse me at the biggest show of the year? Like, that felt odd for me. And that I wish it was the other way of MJF's doing the promo and Garcia comes out and gets in his face and kind of says like, I can beat you this time. And maybe MJF is kind of like arrogant, like, okay, fine, like whatever. Like I'm going to embarrass you in front of this big crowd. It felt weird. And David, you'll remember this where it feels very similar to stuff Cody was doing in AEW near the end where he was like, he lost to Malachi Black and then started to put his boots in the ring. It's like, dude, you're fucking like mid-30s. We know you're not giving it. Like near the end of AEW, he started to do that stuff where he's even said this where he said, I don't know if it was a critique of himself, but he says like, I wrestle sometimes too much like a 80s veteran. And I think MJF already has that going on of like, you are not in the stage of coming to the young guy being like, how about us? Like special match at Wimbledon. It's like, no, you should still be like, I want my fucking title back. Why aren't I in the Owen Hart Cup? I'm going to at least take some title. I'm going to do something. Like even then, I think
MJF leaving his boots in the ring while he's like 28 years old.
Garcia's going to beat him and he's going to leave his fucking boots in the ring, expose his tattoo. But like, even then I feel like, he doesn't want to tell. I feel like he'd want to go after like Okada or somebody, or even Ospreay. They had that face off. To me, that would have made more sense. Of hey, whether you have the title or not, I want your. And that makes sense because Ospreay's like the top shit right now. With Garcia, I love Garcia. He's super underrated. I think Tony.
You could have done like like he faces whoever has the international title, and then like it's gonna be Ospreay, and then Garcia wins. It's like it's gonna be like like Garcia against MJF when MJF thought it would be like Ospreay, so it's like, this is an easy challenge. Like you're not Ospreay, like I'm gonna beat you at All In.
Yeah, you could have had Garcia and Ospreay doing the promo and then MJF intro. It feels weird, but then the only part where they won me is that I did like that Ospreay came out and MJF looked fucking livid and felt like and the commentary didn't even say, he feels like he's upstaged. So again, AEW, they do some storytelling.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to do more, and I think that was a good sign of he does feel like he was extending the hand and these people kind of spit on him. So I think there's maybe a way. So I'm on a wait and see on the MJF Ospreay Garcia lineup. Maybe it becomes a triple threat, and that actually would be tons of fun for Wembley. Garcia, MJF, and Ospreay. That'd be lots of dynamics.
So then would Ospreay retain there? I guess.
I think so. And he pins Garcia.
Title,
and he pins Garcia for sure.
So could you see MJF being slighted about what happened and then costing Will Ospreay tonight, and that's going to set them up?
That would be great because I know.
I have a prediction. How many people are going to interfere in this match?
This can't be a clean cut win. I mean, you got to keep both of those guys super strong, which is another reason, again, this match shouldn't be happening right now.
I agree.
You got to keep them both super strong because the only other option for Will Ospreay at Wembley, if this doesn't work, is because they haven't explicitly told us that Hangman is the wild card. I would think he's the wild card. I mean, there's no reason to promo package him if he's not.
Baby.
But no, if he loses and then he is also the wild card in the Owen Hart. So that could be a deal, but that would be that'd be too internet booking of Tony Khan. I know he likes to go that route, but
the Elite explicitly said we put the wild card in the tournament to bring the title back to the Elite. Is what they said.
Why don't you just be Okada too? He's gonna win all that. He'll win because
and then call everybody a bitch in the process.
Yeah, and that's such a tough thing because it's just like already it's like Okada. Like I said a couple weeks ago,
people said like it's like good thing Okada didn't go to WWE and they made him a comedy gimmick.
Oh, I know, yeah, but it's funny because like it's working here, and it's just like it does that whole thing when he did the I'm sorry, I had wrong button. Like that was great. Like he was great comedic time, and the crowd popped 3 times within that promo for each. Like he gets it, and that's where it's like and I don't know if he would have been obviously not the pitch line. I don't know in WWE. I think they would have booked him more seriously, but that's the tough thing now. Like I feel like Okada's like. I was all down for make him the heel, and I think the arrogant stuff was good, but now it's like he's too funny. Now it's like there's no reason because I get it. It's like the reverse of Japan, right? Like he's the big foreigner that comes in and he's gonna squash and beat all the American talent. He's gonna go on to beat Swerve, and it's like Okada's gonna be like Goldberg, undefeated. You can't beat him. But now it's just like he's too fun to watch. Like I don't want to see him as the unstoppable thing. Like I almost just want like. I want the Elite to kick him out, and then like him and Omega get together. Like it's great for him. Obviously, they're making some terrible shirts off of this, but it's great that he's over. I hate that there's still all these titles going on, and everything like that. But yeah, the MGF thing, I think, because he's begging to be a heel again, and I feel like at least with Ospreay, I think he could make it that people will choose Ospreay over him. He can't like so there's a few things. So I'm excited to see how it goes tonight. Obviously they're in New York or or whatever. They're in where are they fucking where's he from? New Jersey, right? So he's gonna get the big pops and everything like that. So yeah, is there anything else we hadn't touched upon for AEW in specific or the pay-per-view? We'll talk about the results and all in the next episode.
Have, Learning Tree versus Hook. Shimano,
TV match.
That's what you want to bring up. You want to bring up that S-Pubs? Oh, so
we're getting Joe and Jericho again.
A TV match where Shibata is going to take the pin. Again. Like this Hook is so predictable.
Jericho, we have Hook and Jericho again.
Oh, I don't want Shibata to take the pin. I hope it's like Big Bill takes the pin and then we move along. And yeah, I don't.
Because the Learning Tree is going to win. Because you know what? Chris Jericho is going to just look at Tony Khan and say, hey, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah.
Learning Tree is going over.
Again, it sounds maybe controversial. I don't think the Learning Tree is completely awful, but I don't think they need to be on pay-per-view. Like that's like I think they should be on pay-per-view when it's warranted. And I don't think this is warranted. I think as I said before, I think Jericho is making lemons out of lemonade or lemonades out of lemon. Fuck, whatever the expression is. He's got juice over there, okay? And the difference is like when Big Show's getting these chants, they would just ignore it. He'd do whatever. I do like the stuff like Cody says, like, oh yeah, I don't trust the veterans that say, you know, I'm only here for the young guys. And then Jericho hours later be like, you know, I'm just here for the young guys. Like, I like how meta he's being with it, but it's not so good that it like warrants to be on the pay-per-view. I'm fine with TV time because they got fucking 6 hours of TV every week. 2 hours for Dynamite, 2 hours for Collision. I guess 5.
Talk show TV time.
Well, yeah, so I'm fine with TV time, and I'm fine with like a pay-per-view if it's warranted, if it gets really hot, because I do think there's like someone to beat him for the FTW title, and they can make that a big deal. But again, when we're looking at 14 matches and really only, and of course he's not on 0 Hour, you know, all the other ones are, but when we're looking at those, that's the other one I want to talk about, because this could be fun, is the ladder match. This is like a classic, like Money in the Bank, NXT, North American, like it's Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Jack Perry, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, El Phantasmo for the vacant TNT Championship. This is going to be just a fucking... This is going to be crazy. You have multiple people in here that just are going to try to kill them. Like Dante Martin, the reason he is gone for so long because he did a fucking sunset flip off a ladder and broke his foot into pieces. Like, and I bet he hasn't learned. I bet he's going to do shit like this again. But my heart pick is I want Takeshita to win it. I want him to go on a fucking run, and I want Cope to come back, and I want Edge and Takeshita, and I think it would be really good. But I think it's gonna be LOL. Jack Perry wins. That's what I think.
It's gonna be Jack Perry,
Yeah.
especially since Dynamite is in Chicago next week.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's gonna be Jack Perry, but I mean Dante Martin, Leo Rush, El Phantasmo, they are going to do some wild stuff. Mark Briscoe is going to put it all on the line. Like it is going to be. I am here for this. Now it's weird having the ROH championship in this for the TNT championship, but I still like Mark
Yeah.
Briscoe in ladder matches.
Yeah, I've complained about this every time. I just get rid of the ROH stuff, make it its own thing, make it very similar to NXT where you see it every once in a while, but there's just I agree with you. I just don't think the ROH champion would the ROH that I remember, I feel like you would hail it with such high esteem, and it just feels weird that, okay, I'm the big champion here, but I'm going to go for like one of the secondary titles in AEW. I feel like, no, I'm just going to focus on defending this. It's like when fucking Joe was a television champion, just like gave it up by just like leaving in the ring. Like, okay, I'm done with it. Like ROH, they need to like severely give that brand some rehab, I think. And even now, like with Athena, I didn't know she's a women's champion and she got hurt. And the word was 2 to 3 months, but then now she's at 8 to 10 months. Has everyone? Did they announce if they're taking the title off or not?
No,
They
she's
have
keeping
not,
it.
but she posted something about her rehab the other day. Like she's gonna be out for
I
a
mean,
while.
I think
8
what
to 10
people are saying,
months.
it's supposedly like a storyline because I think she's literally wrestling on an indie like this week.
Oh, is it a storyline?
I'm pretty sure she was injured like legitimately like up until now, and now I think it's like
Okay.
a heel thing of like I'm not dropping the title even though I'm out for like 10
Okay,
months.
I'm fine. That's where I'm.
I
Thank you. That's
think
where I'm
that's
at.
what it is from
Yeah.
what I've read.
If that's the
Because
case,
I
that's
think
fine.
she's literally wrestling like on an indie like this week or next week or something
Yeah.
like that.
But my example was that was the case of like everyone's been like all these ROH champions come over, and where's Athena? She's been on this winning record. She's great in the ring. Where is she? And he was always like, oh, well, she's focused on ROH. So to me, that would read okay. It's like NXT. You're there, and then if you lose, you come back. But it's like, well, they have no plans for fucking losing, so she's just there in ROH getting really little exposure. So
Yeah. I don't think Mark Briscoe should have been in this match. You could put somebody else in there, and then you could substitute about 4 different matches and put Mark Briscoe for a ROH championship match over there and done some more Forbidden Door stuff. Like,
I agree.
realistically, the Learning Tree match doesn't need to be on the pay-per-view itself. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy, while will probably be a very good match, doesn't need to be
it doesn't have to be
on the
there.
pay-per-view itself. And
But it
things
could
like that.
steal the show, though. Watch it. Still, like Orange Cassidy at the first Forbidden Door, right? Where everyone was like, "Oh, him and Ospreay," and then it happened. But
Because honestly, the match with Los Ingobernables versus the Lucha Brothers and Mystico, I would rather see that before I'd want to see the Learning Tree match. Like swap them, put the Learning Tree on the pre-show and put that, or put House of Black on the main card. I mean, those guys have earned it. Like there's
could
some
have, but, like,
strong
Is
competitors in
that
that.
fatal 4-way for something?
no, that
Like-
tag
No.
team one you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, it's just a
no.
match.
And that's the one I would have got
I
rid
mean,
of and
it's
been
a
like,
0 hour, so I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
won't put against because the 0 hour is always going to be a certain amount of time, so I won't count those against it being like I think 0 hour matches are fine.
yeah. And you know on that point, because like the ones where I would like if we take 0 out of it, because I do agree that I would get rid of that and maybe just do Mark Briscoe Fatal 4-Way, get 3 people and do Forbidden Door stuff. But like out of all these, the ladder match I'd keep because I think that's gonna be tons of fun. The women's title, with Tony, keep that. Orange and Cassidy, I think if you had to cut one, fine, but I still think Orange is one of their biggest stars, and they like Zach, and he's one of New Japan's bigger stars that are left. So I do see Kate keep that one because Zack Sabre always comes in and does a banger. MJF, the only reason you keep it is just because they're in his hometown, so I get why you keep that one. You don't need it, but if you just need it for the live crowd, Naito and Moxley, okay. The elite one is just an excuse to get Tanahashi on the card, so I get that. I would have rather just Okada defend it in a 4-way or do something. And then so really that's again where it comes down to the only match I would cut from the main card is the Learning Tree one. That like legitimately, like if there's like a one that like like I said, MJF, Zabra, and Cassie, it's like, oh, I see the reason you do it. The learning tree, I don't see a reason why you have to do this here. Like it's just like that does not.
Jericho's contract that he has to be
Yeah.
on pay per view.
Yeah, because he can keep saying, "Oh, I've never missed a pay per view," but yeah, we'll be back. Because when is the next? Because we got Money in the Bank, but when's the next pay per view? Because I know All In and SummerSlam are really close. So I know when we do that one, we're gonna be doing them after. But let me see. I did this last time.
Yeah, I think SummerSlam is. I don't remember the exact date.
Okay, so it's August 3rd. Or oh no, sorry, it was Bash of Berlin was the one that's really close to All In. So I think what we're gonna do is we'll probably do. Because let's see, we're in June now, July. So yeah, we'll see what we do. Because like
We could do either like right before SummerSlam or like right after.
I probably want to do right after because if we got stuff like Roman coming and like Cash and stuff, I don't want to wait. So we'll see. We'll see what
maybe
the
like
break.
somewhere in there.
Yeah, maybe we
like
might.
small
Yeah, we might do like a. Yeah, because I guess Bash of Berlin's August 31st. So maybe what we'll do is we probably will do like a mid-July one because then we can review Forbidden Door, whatever's going on there. We can preview All In, and then we preview SummerSlam, and then we can do one after SummerSlam, and then I think we'll do the one in September, kind of right after, because it's, I think All In is August 30th, right? I'm pretty sure. Let me take a look here.
I'm not sure.
All In 2024. No, August I was wrong. 25th. It's the 25th. Okay, so probably that's the one in September. So that's probably the next how it's going to go is we'll do one mid-July, and then we'll do one probably right after SummerSlam to cover that, and then the one kind of August, September. So it might be the August episode, but the August episode might come out like the beginning of September. But yeah, I say we wait till after Bash of Berlin because then we can review both shows in a week.
And then that's right before All Out.
Is All Out the 31st?
I think they moved All Out a week now, so now it's not like the week after, but like.
Oh, you're right. It's September 7th now. Okay. So there we go. So that September show will be like I'll review those two shows, and we can preview All Out as well. So there we go. That's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
Let's look out mid-July for another episode, after SummerSlam for another, and then the last week or beginning of September for the next one. So that's kind of the next layout here. Because yeah, for SummerSlam,
the one only a few weeks from now and cover Money in the Bank, Forbidden Door.
Yeah, exactly. Because we can
and,
go
like,
over new
build
scenarios.
Up to SummerSlam.
Because once we know who like wins the match, because at that point the man like again Jey Uso could already be world champion, right? And I think it's good. I think it's good to have a SummerSlam predictions and an after because I think SummerSlam could be a pretty big show.
Yeah.
And
by then we'll probably, even though if we don't have like the official match card, like 2 weeks out from SummerSlam, they'll probably be doing their promos and stuff.
And well, those I think at least the big 4 or 5, where it's like, okay, we know this.
The Wrestle Votes leaks on the card.
Oh, you never know. There might be one Prime user in the arena. It's like the way just say Logan Paul, like just like who like all these like Cody might meet.
It's gonna be an electrifying night at SummerSlam.
Yeah. CM Punk might meet the Samoan family that runs wrestling. They didn't do that this time, but like I feel like sometimes they just drop these hints where it's like, okay, dude, like it's bad.
We get it.
But yeah, but there we go. So that's the next little layout. So yeah, next time we'll be back is a few weeks. We'll be back after Money in the Bank, after Forbidden Door, and then the lead up to All In and SummerSlam. So we'll talk about those. And yeah, it should be a good time. Gentlemen, thank you for always joining. It's a good time. Excited to see what the draft happens to now. Lots of changes coming up here.
I think we all changed. Almost all of our changes were in our like bottom 3 picks.
That makes sense.
The last 3.
The rotating ones, yeah. So that makes sense, and see what happens if it changes the winds at all. So we'll see.
Yeah,
yes, we'll see. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back, like we said, in the middle of July, and it won't be boring. Have a good one.